Hey everybody, welcome to another fun-filled venture hour with ClevelandMoto podcast, episode number 531. Light 'em up, boys! Yeah. And they're off. And today, a snowy night in Cleveland, Ohio. We've all been running our snow blowers and snow machines and truly getting in the spirit of things. I see everybody was wearing a toque when they came in today.
Yep.
So
It took me almost an hour and a half to get here from Summit today because the snow was so bad. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, of all days, can we just not have that today, please?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to my immediate left, we have Dan Kromke. To his left, running the boards tonight,
Steve Sleepy.
and to his left, the Honda Whisperer.
Johnny Mac.
To his left,
Speedy Pete.
in the corner tonight,
Sean Noel.
and behind the bar, as usual,
Tom Pennington.
serving us cocktails and none for himself. Well, there's no Mr. Black, so I think we're all safe.
Yeah, that's true.
And tonight we have an extremely special guest on our podcast. If you guys listen to all of the usual suspects, you listen to the Misfits and all of our friends out there in podcast land, you already know about this guy. I'm going to introduce Ryan Kluftinger from Fort9.
There he
Hey,
is.
Ryan.
Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thanks for having me on, guys. This is cool.
Awesome. So what's the weather like out by you today?
Crap. I'd rather be with you guys in the snow. We got a bunch of rain. Haven't seen the sun in about 10 days. It's cold, but not cold enough to create any type of precipitation we could have fun with. Just eternal miserable spring up here in the Vancouver winter. So
I always
not
consider
so great.
I always consider your outpost to be northern San Francisco.
That's a great description for it. Yeah, it's kind of how I always describe it as like, it's kind of like Oregon, but worse. You know? Although, I mean, I'm being a little unfair. The great thing about Vancouver is we got the mountains right there.
Yes, you do.
So if you want snow, you can climb a bit and go up to Whistler, Squamish, or North Shore Mountains.
I went skiing. I went snowboarding, and my wife went skiing literally on a bus from your town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of the only places in the world where you can die of exposure within sight of a major city, and it happens all the time. They make up, but all the time, like people go up around Seymour, Cypress, like these North Shore mountains, which you can take a city bus to.
That's
hop on a city bus and go up the mountain, hike, get lost, die of exposure, all while staring at like a 2 million person city that's right there across the water. But tough shit, no service, steep terrain, hardcore terrain. We got a real wilderness right in the backyard of Vancouver.
It is kind of a magical place. One of those true. Is it Ewok Village or is it Ice Planet Hoth, depending on where you are?
Yeah, lots of both. No, I know. I've been overly down on it so far. It is a rad place. It's really cool, and if you can get through the rainy winters, then man, it's a fun city to be in. And for a motorcyclist, it's pretty cool because you can not have a car and ride a motorcycle all year. It doesn't really snow down.
And I was going to say from your videos, like, everywhere you're shooting seems to be, nice.
Oh yeah, I mean that was the other big impetus for moving out here from Montreal is just within like a tight little radius. You can shoot like on the beach, like in the rainforest, up in the snowy mountains. A couple hours interior, you have a desert in the Soyuz. You can go over the island and get a whole different look there. You go down south, we'll have a whole different look. And the city's big. Like we have a big metropolis too. If we want to shoot like scooters downtown, glass skyscrapers kind of thing. So for a content creator with a tiny budget, Vancouver's pretty sweet because you can go shoot, in places and come home and sleep in your bed and eat your own food, everything. So.
I've got to say, I am so impressed that Fort9, this retail operation is allowing you to be this outpost and saying, okay, all the video production is going to happen under your watchful eye out there in an area that is so conducive to motorcycling, because I've spent several weeks in Montreal. I spent a lot of time there, and I can tell you it is not the best place to try to run a channel for motorcycling for about 5 months out of the year.
Yeah, for sure. We ran the channel out of there for the first few years and had struggled with that, and then came out here. And I'm as surprised as you are that Fort9 is happy for us idiots to set up a little office out here and make stupid videos about bikes that we think are funny or useful in some way and slap their brand name on it. Most big companies want a whole lot of oversight. It's like, hey, don't say shit. Don't say that.
I'm super familiar. So I work for Summit Racing, which is basically the car version of Fort9 down here, but more for race cars and dragsters and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm one of the in the videography department, and so I race motorcycles. I do all the things. My desk is covered, so they kind of came to me and they're talking to me, and I said, "Well, if you want me to do something like this, I'm already doing it. I'd happy to do it." They're like, "Oh, well, no, not that. We need you to sell stuff," and I'm like, "I don't want to sell stuff. Like at least obtusely, like."
Yeah, that's it. That's it. No, it's yeah, we're very lucky here. And funnily enough, like when nobody asks you to sell something, you end up selling a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like Fort9 will just send us, as much free gear as we could possibly want to try out. And then we can make a video and be like, I hated this. This one's garbage. This one's overpriced. This one was actually pretty good. I'm going to keep that. And you end up moving like a lot of those helmets, even though you kind of just ended up shitting on like 5 out of 6 of them.
But honesty matters, though. Honesty matters, and honesty sells, and that's what people forget a lot of times.
I guess so. I think people can tell when you have a mandate to try to sell something versus when you're actually just sharing information because it's how you really feel about a thing. And Fort9's always been like really cool about going that direction with the channel. So yeah, I mean, dream employer. They let us ride around the world and count it as work days, right? So,
well, Ryan, I have to tell you, one of my favorite things is now that I see that the channel that you guys are going into the boating world as well. And that video that you shot with Connor with the whaler behind your motorcycle, and you guys are in like 3 mil wetsuits. I was 7 mil super duper wetsuits, right? Because I was like, you got to be some frosty boys. And I was like, when I watched that, I was like, this is a brilliant idea. This entire concept of having this adorable little whaler and then outfitting it and getting to dip it and have fun with it. You guys, that's really watchable.
I'm glad that you found it watchable, because we just do these things because we think they're funny.
That's hilarious.
Con bought a little Boston whaler because that was the boat that he could afford. Thing is super waterlogged. It's way heavier. It doesn't really come up the way that it should, and whatever. So they did lots of cool work. They redid the gel coat, like put in really nice woodworking in there and stuff. Like the bright work looks amazing, but it's all just like stuff that he's done in his garage, because that's kind of the type of dudes that we are. And then I wanted to make a video on motorcycle trailering. He has this radial gold wing, which is perfect, and he wanted to tow hitch for it anyway. So we got his buddy to weld one on there. And then we were going to film with an even smaller boat, actually. We have this, it's called is it an addictor or something like that? It's like a tiny little thing. You sit side by side, and we couldn't get it started on the morning. So it was like, crap, like we got to use your whaler, dude. So he brought that down. It was a bigger boat than we even wanted to tow with that gold wing. And I think it surprised us all just how fine the motorcycle was. We sort of set it up on a perfectly flat space and got the camera running. We're like, okay, we'll just, tow it a little bit forward, keep everything in a straight line and flat, and like see what breaks. And we did that. Nothing happened. Went tackled some hills. Nothing happened. Went on the road, full car speed. Nothing happened. Like the bike was just fine with it the whole time.
You almost sound disappointed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were kind of expecting some drama in it, and didn't get any. And then, Con's an avid diver. He got me into free diving. So we threw the boat in the water and went and picked up some crabs and had a really good day shooting that stuff. To the point where we got out at the end and we were both kind of looking at each other like, man, this wasn't just a funny thing for a video. Like, this would work, Like, the next time I need to move a boat, if the bike is the one that's sitting closest to the garage door, like, I'm just going to take that.
Are you going to dark side? Are you going to dark side Connor's Goldwing?
He wants to, actually.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if have you guys dark sided before?
Yeah,
or we're talking to some dark siders. So,
well, I've ridden a lot of my customers' bikes that show up that are set up dark side.
I'm going to say a friend of a friend has done it many times.
And I've got one of my customers has a high powered Kimco scooter, an AK 550.
Yeah, nice.
Within a month of me selling it to him, he put 10,000 miles on it, like a big West Coast trip, and came back.
Yeah,
and
a huge trip.
Yeah, he showed up with a car tire, and he said, "Phil, I know you're going to yell at me because we had a pretty dark view of dark side." And so I took it out for a ride. I drove it around, and I was like, actually, this is pretty doable. And it really impressed me with, even on the scooter platform, even though it's a mega scooter, how appropriate it was. And I've had a metric shit ton of customers come in with the Bergmans with the dark side.
Yeah, Bergman would be a good candidate too. I had a Bergman 650 executive for a while, which was a sweet scoot.
Swanky.
Yeah, talk about like with the same thing with trailering. It seems like insane, and then you do it, and it's sort of just fine. Dark siding to me was like that. I thought this is stupid. We'll throw one on and ride around and talk about how dumb and awful it feels, and then we went and did it, and I was like, crap, this feels fine. Not sketchy, lots of traction, turns into corners kind of normally. Like in the beginning, you notice it because like when you tip the bike into a corner, it wants to stand up again. So you have to like be counter steering the whole time to take it through a corner, which is like not typical. But for me, after I got used to that, it was like, yeah, this feels okay. This is shockingly okay.
For the benefit of the listening public, so anyone who's maybe not aware, can we define dark side?
Yeah, we should. It's basically taking the size wheel that you have on the back and finding an appropriate car tire to interchange with it. It works best if you have a 14, 15, or 16-inch back wheel. There's plenty of car tires available. We found from a Mini Cooper-sized Yokohama that existed as a 12-inch tire, and it worked perfect on the back of the scooter. And then on the AK550 scooter, it has a 15-inch back wheel, so that made the hunt that much easier. You just had to make sure it cleared the swing arm. And it was easier than you could imagine doing it, and the results speak for themselves. He's got about 75,000 miles on that AK550 already, and, no grief. He's just riding. And getting a 29,000 or 30,000 mile lifespan out of a back tire compared to the 7 or 10,000 that we might get on a $230 motorcycle rear tire, that's just good economy.
I have an idea.
Yeah, that's it.
So since you got to adapt to dragging the trailer behind you, next time you go around the world, you have to just take your own boat. And then when you get to the place,
honestly, that's a pretty cool idea to try to do the whole overland, no flying, right?
Right. Yeah.
Trailering an ocean-going vessel would be a whole different challenge, and we'd be trying to probably do like around the world in 80 days rather than 18. But I like that idea, man. That sounds pretty sweet.
There is a company that exists in the world called Admiral Outdrives, and Admiral Outdrives and Admiral Marine made basically an aluminum landing craft that it was a boat trailer. So there's 4 wheels that can deploy out of the bottom of the boat. So your boat becomes a trailer, and it has a hitch on the back of where you normally have what you pull a water skier with.
Yeah.
That folds down and becomes your tow hitch for your trailer. And then you crank the thing and the wheels go up into the hull of the boat. And a lot of guys who live in Newfoundland and things like that will have these so they can put their ATV on the Shorelander, on the trailer, which becomes the boat. And then they go out and do all boat things all day. And then they land somewhere, put the ramp down and take the ATV out and pull the boat out of the water with the ATV and then transport the boat around. And they've upscaled that to the point where we've got proper 4-wheel drive cars on these Admiral Marine landing craft. They're tall money, though. I mean, this is not the kind of thing you get into with your own money. You want to have corporate money for that.
I'm Googling this right now. I gotta see this thing. I'm like, could a bike tow it?
When
if the trailer is mounted to the thing, then you can tow the boat to your launch point, throw the bike in the boat, suck the wheels into the boat, drive across the water, do the same thing on the other side. Like you really could make that work.
In about a day, I'm going to feel sad that I introduced you to this idea because you're going to go down a rabbit hole on this thing. But it is super cool. And when you see the guys skating these boats around, they're not fooling around. They're pretty decent performance vehicles. And when you see the guy throw a fully loaded ATV on this thing, and he's still up on a plane in no time flat. This is a real thing if you live somewhere there's too much water around you. We have Lake Erie, our last line of defense against Canada is at the end of my street. Yeah,
that's right. We're coming across, baby.
We get the Canadian Air Force. The Canada geese come through here all the time. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've been listed them. But that'd be perfect around here. We got so many little islands that the ferries either don't go to or the ferry goes like once a day kind of thing. So
I promise you we're going to talk about the movie, but I'm a degenerate podcast listener when I'm driving, delivering motorcycles to customers in my truck all day. Yeah. So I spend too much time listening. And you talked about something that I didn't think anybody else really did a deep dive on, which is a missing B-36 up in northern Canada that was the very first Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
And so
where
you're
did you hear about this? This was on another podcast I was talking.
So you mentioned it in some podcast years ago, and I was like, "Oh no, there's no way he knows about that." And then I was listening, and I was like, "No, you really do know about this." And I have a Yamaha BW 350.
There's a bike. Yeah, there's a bike.
I'm going to tease you. We're going to throw down the ClevelandMoto challenge. Every year for the past 20 years, we've been going to AMA Vintage Days at Mid-Ohio Raceway. And we've been going to it and introducing people from all over the world. And every year we bring 5 or 10 extra people that have never been there before to show up to nerdy Burning Man. It's like the dumbest thing that ever happened over 4 days. And it's super dangerous, but nobody gets hurt.
And 70,000 people.
I wouldn't say no one gets hurt.
Okay, all right. I did get stitches. I did get stitches.
I've had pieces of your body on my face.
It's a pretty, but we're going to invite you to this because it's usually the second weekend in July, but it is a paean to the gods of vintage rusty motorcycles.
And
awesome.
The Misfits come, like we introduced the Misfits to it. So they come every year. And when we say we've been going for 20 years, we have developed where we set up a full FEMA camp. Like we have a city set up. So like if people come and we invite them, you bring nothing.
Yeah, you don't need to bring anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding. Yeah, no,
I think that the Tiki Bar last year was a big hit.
Indeed. Well, Sean said I'm coffee this year. So
every year every year with the bar goes higher. Every year we have more fun. This is a place where you don't need to bring a camera. You don't need to bring anything. But if you bring $500, by the time the weekend's over, you may have turned that $500 into $5,000 just flipping old motorcycles. Yeah.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, it's a really fun game. And plus there's vintage motorcycle racing all weekend.
Of all forms.
Right. There's trials. There's the Wall of Death. There's a great hill climb. There's probably one of the greatest hair scrambles you're ever going to see in your life. And it's just 4 days of awesomeness. And there's not a single human being there telling you no.
Yeah, this sounds exactly like
so you fly in, we'll pick you up at the airport, and you'll be set. We'll give you a bike to ride, but more importantly, you'll leave with my BW 350 because I'm not using it.
I see. You want me to take it up north and find?
I would be so proud if that bike would go on some kind of big adventure.
That's a video that I've been plotting for almost 10 years, probably, because there are some dudes in Quebec. And I knew one of them, and they were from Lac Saint Jean, and they went up there in the winter on snowmobiles, and dragged one of the engines out of there. So one of these dudes has one of the engines sitting in front of his like junk shop in Tadoussac or something like that.
Wow.
Which is pretty freaking cool. I've always wanted to get up there myself because the plane's in remarkably good shape, and the story is fascinating. You'll have heard this all before, but it caught fire and the crew bailed out over New York, set the autopilot due north, assuming that the thing would burn up and crash. And the fire must have gone out, and it just kept flying north for like 1,000 miles, set down.
There were
way far up in Quebec.
Wasn't it that there were 12 people on the plane and they all bailed out? And I think 7 lived and 5 died. Oh my! And if you look up the story, there was one guy who was just like an observer, right? Because it was carrying a nuclear weapon. It didn't have any plutonium in it, but they dump the bomb in the water?
I don't know. And that's a big part of wanting to go up there is just trying to like see what we can find out, because there were some articles published about it. They were trying to hush it up. A bunch of U.S. Air Force dudes went up there and recovered some stuff, blew some stuff up. So there were things that they weren't keen on people finding out. And I filed some FOIPAs, like the Freedom of Information, whatever thing, to try to get more information about this crash, because it's always been really hush hush. So anyway, I won't delve too deep into it for now. But there's a good movie there. If we do another movie like that, that's pretty high on the list for maybe
sign me up.
Maybe number 2.
Yeah, Pete's the perfect guy to take with you on that, because
cool.
The idea of going through what people don't realize is that part of the world, when it's not frozen, it's virtually impassable.
Oh yeah, it's nasty muskeg. Like it's so boggy up there. It's half water.
Yeah.
And the spots that are land look like land, and then you step on them and you sink up to your thighs. Like it's pretty gnarly. The mosquitoes are insane. It's a tough place to be. we all did it like a 2-day tactical shotgun course a couple months ago, sort of in preparation for shooting a big project up north.
Oh, okay.
The other thing up there is the polar bears. Like if you're not armed and you have a shotgun on you with slugs, like you're an idiot.
Oh yeah.
These bears, super cool animals. They'll smell you from 3 miles away and go, calorie source, like I'm gonna go hunt that and eat it. It's one of the only animals that when it kills and eats a human, it's not done anything wrong. Like that's exactly what that animal does. You know, it's entirely natural for them to prey on humans.
Nature's gonna nature.
Gee,
Nature's good at nature.
It's not like those commercials.
When I rode up to Alaska, the guy that one of the truck drivers, this was before the Alcan was paved. So I rode up and they said, okay, we'll always pee on bridges. And I was like, what the hell? Always pee on bridges? That seems weird. And then we figured it out because if you pee on a bridge, then you can see, you have a line of sight left and right for hundreds and hundreds of feet. So if an animal, because they can smell you, like they're going to come and investigate the smells. And so if you stop long enough to pee on the bridge, everybody that's in the woods is going to come and see what's going on. Well, a couple of times when we were up on the bridge peeing, we saw animals coming onto the bridge, and that does give you the notice to give you the time to put, to tap it twice, put it away, and get back on your bike.
That's it. It can't surprise you like 3 feet away from you out of the bush.
Yeah, you don't want to be like taking a leak and realize you're leaking on somebody's den. And they're not too happy about it. So that's a good movie idea, man. I love that. And take a Geiger counter when you go, because I'm sure that story about them dumping the bomb in the water and then bailing out. I don't know, man.
Well, one wonders. Yeah, it's tasty. There's some good mystery.
There's something there.
you can do a practice run down there. There's a B-24 someplace in the Oregon high desert down there too.
Oh yeah. Right on.
Be worth
that would be cool.
I love motorcycle adventures that go out looking for dumb shit because that's where you find the most fun that isn't even with. Like I went out in the desert in California to find a place where an experimental airplane had crashed, and there's literally just like a stake in the sand or a stake in the dirt that commemorates where it was, but it's pretty easy to get to. Yeah. And so anything that would have been out there has been picked up a long time ago, but it's still cool to go out and kind of in that area. Cause hey, it was the Cold War. We threw dangerous shit everywhere.
We went to the Buddy Holly crash site.
Oh, Buddy Holly crash site.
Clear Lake, Iowa.
Yeah. That's another fun thing. Look at us. We're just morbid. We're talking about people dying in airplanes. It's super cool. Another thing for the people, I think everybody sitting here at the table watches your videos. And the thing that lights me up is you are a first principles guy.
Yeah.
I like that. I love having a blackboard. When I'm at the shop telling people why they're not allowed to leave gas in their carburetor or use ethanol fuel, I'm always using graphic training aids because, it's one thing to be able to encapsulate it in a 90-second, this is why I'm telling you to do this. It's better if you can draw them a picture. And your use of the blackboard is fantastic. So how much of a physics degree do you have?
I was going to say,
just an undergrad.
Yeah.
I never went that far. I did my undergrad in physics and got close enough to some theoretical physics profs to realize that I didn't really want to become those guys. Cool as it is. So that was it for me from the university side of things. But then when I got into bikes, it was like a huge point of interest to look at the machines and try to understand from first principles why they're shaped the way they are and designed the way they are, whatever.
The other thing,
it was always an easy way to make a more unique video is usually when Fort9 gets bikes reviews, they're like super old news. We don't go to press launches and stuff because it's like kind of canned journalism and it's really hard to make something where they're just trying to like play you with like free food and stuff. So instead we try to get the bikes here, which is usually like 3 or 4 or 5 months after the bike's been released. So there's already like 30 videos about a particular machine on the internet. And so it's no longer fresh to just talk about like, oh, it makes 80 horsepower. Look, it has the suspension. Like that kind of stuff's all out there. And one way to be somewhat fresh is to try to tackle the machine from physical principles. It's usually something that hasn't been done yet. So yeah, it's fun. We like doing that stuff. It's good to hear that.
So when
appreciated on your end.
when you guys have an idea now, like say like you have an idea or something, do you have a team? So are you guys bouncing the ideas around? Like how does that work when you're writing the material?
We work in teams of two. So historically, the channel was always just two of us. I would research and write and host the videos, and then my buddy would shoot and edit them. So yeah, it was that way for a really long time, and we still work in teams of two, but now we have more teams of two. So we added Con and Robin, and they do all the marine boating content like that. And we added Josh and Girish, and they do all like the shorts, YouTube shorts, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. But it's still always that duopoly where one guy does the researching, writing, hosting, another guy does the shooting and the editing.
Nice.
Having said that, like we're all sitting in the same room and we're all moto dudes. So of course we end up like swapping ideas and talking stuff out between us and bouncing things off each other. So yeah, there's a good bit of synergy happening too.
The incorporation or the development of Connor's character. So that, you know, it has him being like Drone 45, like this whole idea. It has been, my wife watches the videos when I'm going and she loves it and she really gets into it. My wife's very, very well-educated, you know, administrator. And when she'll sit and watch through, and she's been a motorcycle rider for a long, long time. So when she'll watch a YouTube video about motorcycling and she'll sit and she's like, oh, this is fantastic. But then the problem is she looks at me and she goes like, you guys need to do this. And I'm like, oh, wait a second, sweetie. You know, come on. Be more realistic.
You could play that same game back to her. But,
I know.
But watching different types of
totally different videos. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly. We've established some new standards, sweetheart. But that's the team that you guys have is producing great. When the videos, it was a few years ago, right? Anish was working for you guys, right? Was he was doing video? He was a lot. I mean, you'd bring him into some of the video stuff because he was behind the camera. And it was just always kind of fun meeting the different parts of your crew and seeing them being pulled into utility roles in your very, very tiny studio.
Yeah, totally. It's we don't have a lot of guys. So anytime there's extras needed in a video, it's kind of all hands on deck and you'll get a shooter, another host or something stepping in to fill some kind of extra role in the video. And this movie we made was one way that we were able to kind of pull everyone back in. Like Anish, the early guy who shot and edited like tons of the iconic Fort9 videos from like 7 years ago or whatever. And we still work together. He shot and edited one that went up on the channel a few days ago. But he's from outside of Mumbai. So when we were riding through India, we hooked up with him there and that was super helpful. And then when it came to do all the graphics, for the film, my other buddy Luke, who used to be a shooting editor here, now he lives in Perth. But we got him to do all that because he's like an amazing motion designer and he lived along the route, was really familiar with the project and stuff. So it's neat when you have a bigger project to be able to pull like everyone in on it and actually work as the bigger team. Whereas most of the time we work as little duos. So it's fun.
We really appreciate it. For people that watch that stuff and have to articulate motorcycle stuff in my shop to customers every single day for the past 25 years, having that point of reference and something that you can show them to explain it is a godsend. I mean, that you've really helped us in the shop a lot when we're trying to explain countersteering, where we're trying to explain where you body position on an adventure bike, because you didn't just take well enough alone. You actually went out and said, no, I think you're doing it wrong. And we've gone out and tried it too. And like when we go out and we're like, okay, change the body position. I know Pete, big time when you did the BMW course down in Georgia, like, and we also have done like Jocelyn Snow stuff and some really cool training. And to be able to say like, oh no, look, the center of gravity actually is on the pegs, no matter where your freaking skull is, you know? And your take on that really helped. That really helps a lot of people understand it and visualize it a hell of a lot better.
Oh, I'm glad that it's useful. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for. We just want our videos to either solve a problem for somebody or teach them something that they were interested in knowing, or just be entertained for a bit. Because motorcycles are like inherently escapist. Right?
Imagine watching a customer leave your shop on a Vespa scooter, knee down into a 30 mile an hour off ramp. And be like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. And I'm like, no, put the bike over there. Leave your ass, keep your body upright. Because like they're like, no, I heard you got to get the center of gravity over, where you want. And I'm like, no, don't do that. That's not 30 miles an hour on an off ramp,
Yeah, I mean, different things in different places. If you're trying to carve the fastest lap time around Laguna Seca, then there's techniques for that. But yeah, it's a little funny when you see people using them on the public roads. Although I haven't said that. I mean, I do too sometimes because leaning off is fun and it just looks like Mark Marquez. Having a great time. And I totally know like this is kind of silly because at these speeds, like we're nowhere near the edge of the tire and like this bike's faster in a straight line than this quarter anyway. So you better just like get that turn done and then get back on it. But I'm not trying to shave seconds going to work, I'm just trying to like have a little bit of a laugh in the morning.
So I was So when you went from like doing the videos that you wanted to do, and you said a couple of times now that like this trip, the whole movie kind of started out with you and your buddy just wanting to go on a trip, right? So did you have to present that then? Like, how did that work? Like to go from like, we want to do the small video to like, I'd like to go around the world.
Yeah, it's, so we made a movie. It's called Yalla Habibi and it's out on December 27th. You can pay $10 and download it. Have it forever. Or if you're in Vancouver, you can come to the premiere on the 22nd. But I think both those shows might be sold out. But just
congratulations.
I'll mention that exists. Yeah. We're doing a theater show, like, suits and red carpet. And we kind of thought like, oh, let's do this for fun, for ourselves and for our families. And maybe we'll film like half theater or something. And was really like just warmed my heart because we put it out to the channel and like sold out the first theater show in like a few hours and then opened up another one and sold that out
that's awesome.
Again right away, which is really cool. So it should end up being a really cool double header for tonight. So anyway, we made this movie. It's like an hour and a half long and we're trying to go around the world and break the speed record, like the fastest time around the world, which is something that's been set a few times in history.
Well, that's what's cool. It's a timeless concept. I mean, like there's movies about it from 100 years or 80 years ago, So it's like, it's a thing that people have been pursuing for hundreds of years, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, there's the famous Around the World in 80 Days, like balloon novel. And there's airplane times around the world where you fly around nonstop. And there's nautical ones where you kind of connect all the oceans and stuff. And this one is an overland circumnavigation record. So you by car or motorcycle, you drive around the world and obviously fly between the stages. Guinness certified a record back in 2001, I think. And it was a couple named Kevin and Julia, and they went around the world in 19 days and 8 hours. And then a guy named Nick Sanders came and did it in 19 days and 4 hours and dropped that down a little more, did it for a TV show. But they immediately got in this big fight about like who really had the record because Kevin and Julia, their 19.8 time was actually like 42 days because they had to ship their bike overseas and wait for it to arrive. So there's like a lot of sleeping and rest in there. Not to belittle what they did because it was amazing. And then when Nick went around, he was shooting a TV show for Bennett Motors. So his record was set over like 3 months and they just kind of like counted the ride time. So it was 19 days and 4 hours, but just the riding portion of it. And they kind of got in a fight over how much downtime was too much and blah, blah, blah. And then no one tried the record for like 2 decades because it's been in this position of uncertainty. So that kind of gave the idea to us of like, hey, let's try to settle this. Like if it's even possible to do it as like a true race, like start going east and never stop the clock and see if you can come back around from the west in less than 19 days. If you did that, you could say, hey, this is, maybe a definitive record. We did, the harder route that goes through more continents and we never stopped the clock and we just slept on the plains and kept going and came back around in less than 19 days. That might settle things. And if it settled it, we'd have the record, which is like, okay, kind of cool. But what's more fun for us is that we might kind of define something that other people would be able to go out and try to break because we'd simplify it quite a bit. It's like, the route is Anchorage to Miami, Lisbon to Istanbul, Mumbai to Kolkata, Bangkok to Singapore, Perth to Sydney. And if you ride all that and come back to the point where you started, doesn't matter where you start or stop, but if you come back to the point where you started in less than our time, you've got the record. however you want to do it with whatever vehicles, whatever route you want. You just got to connect those dots, and then you can say you've gone around the world the fastest. So yeah, that was the impetus for the movie, was just to try to bring the record back into public consciousness and try to really definitively break it, so that more people could go out and try it.
Not to conjure up Top Gear, but when Top Gear did those challenges, and they had the support of the entire BBC, or the support of the entire Jeremy Clarkson, but everywhere they landed, they had a brand new vehicle waiting for them. They had a crew waiting for them. The fact that you did what you did on motorcycles is fucking amazing, if I may be so bold. That's not going to be an easy thing for anybody to try to take from you. That is an amazing accomplishment. Not just the logistics is a book unto itself, but the physical endurance of being able to do that and dispel bad information along the way. You did that with a passenger and made it look easy.
Thanks very much. I appreciate the kind words there. It was definitely hard. Like, the hardest thing about breaking the around the world record is the endurance. It's riding more than an iron butt every day for a consecutive 16, 17, 18, 19 days, whatever time you do. And that cumulative fatigue is really gnarly, because you're sleeping an hour in your helmet laying on the side of the road, and then maybe 2 hours the next night at some crappy motel. And then you got to hop on a plane, and you got to try to sleep on the plane as much as you can in maybe a 5 or 6 hour flight, because when that plane lands, it's 6 a.m. in Mumbai, and you're on the bike in a whole new continent, a whole new world. And the whole time the clock is ticking, whether you're sleeping on the side of the road, sleeping on a plane, trying to eat food, trying to hydrate, it never stops. So it's a relentless endurance feat. And that's why we wanted to do it as one clean time, because that really brings the endurance to the forefront of it.
Was there a point, because obviously you're wearing a helmet a lot, which probably helps for anonymity, but was there ever a point where somebody recognized you and you're like, hey, I'm on the clock, guys, or anything?
Yeah. It's always fun when that happens. It did happen a few times. Gosh, yeah. Well, once in Australia, the middle of the nullarbor means literally no trees, but there's no restaurants, no gas stations, no water. There's nothing out there. It's you're on the surface of the moon. And we just bonked into this other overlanding couple that was like, holy shit, you guys are the Fort9 guys. What are you doing out here? And of course we're like, oh, we're breaking the around the world record. And I say that now with a happy smile, jovial voice. At the time I was like, oh, we're breaking the around the world record.
I'd love to talk about it, but I gotta go.
Pretty dead at that time. Yeah. So, and everyone we met, we were kind of awesome to meet you. Maybe don't share this anywhere, because we took some pictures of people. We were trying to keep it kind of hush hush, because movies take a freaking long time to make. We set this record in September, not September, a few months ago, the September before that.
Yeah, so September 24th.
16, 17 months ago, we set this thing. And the last thing you want is to break the record and then have someone else break it before your movie's even out. Because then you got to put out this movie and your record's already old news, which almost happened. We couldn't believe the bad luck. But Red Bull and Triumph got together with this Dakar rider, Sam Sunderland, and we're going to break this 2 decades old record. And they released a promo stuff about it. And of course we were like, crap, what did this win? We're a few months out.
I just felt your stomach. I felt your stomach squeeze up hearing that news, man.
Oh man, I couldn't believe it. And it was, we found out about it. We dropped the first teaser for our movie. They dropped the first teaser for their record the next day. Which was just a crazy coincidence, because the only way we found out about each other was because people started commenting under our video and under theirs, hey, you should go check out Red Bull. Hey, you should go check out Fort9. This record might already be broken. And so it was, bizarre timing. We ended up taking a meeting with Red Bull and kind of talking up our movie. Hey, we had a cinematographer on the back of my bike the whole way. So it's really nice, beautiful footage in the trenches. None of it is fake. All the dialogue is real dialogue. We're tired, and you can tell. And we went back around the world the next year to get a bunch of landscape shots and exciting riding people and stuff. And we kind of talked up the movie to the point where they said like, okay, like we're gonna push our record back a year and let your film come out and then try to break it. Which
that's pretty respectable. That's respectable considering how big of a company they are. Like that's pretty cool.
Oh man, it was so generous of them. We were obviously like really happy to hear it, because it's a lot to ask. They'd already like put together the bike and they picked the rider, they picked the time, that they were really ready to go for it. So they did a pretty annoying thing by pushing it back from their perspective, right? That was annoying for them to have to do that. Because they'd already laid some groundwork, but man, it was really generous, and we appreciated it because doesn't put out two record attempts at the exact same time, which is not so great.
Good luck to them because they're playing by your rules now.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they see our movie and go, okay, this is where the bar is now, and that's what we got to beat, because it's a challenge, man. The endurance is gnarly. There's things that aren't in your control, right? Like flights aren't always on time and weather doesn't always cooperate. And if you're going around the world in one shot, it's going to either be almost snowing in Alaska or catastrophically hot in Miami and Portugal and India. So you have to do it in the shoulder season, like September or March. And that means you're going to be super hot and super cold in different places. So
was there a point?
Weather is a challenge.
Was there a point where you're like, why did I do this?
Oh yeah. I would say Australia is where that point hit really hard, because at that point we were far in. We were like seeing things that didn't exist. Like I would always see these like big statues of men on horses and massive skulls, and then you drive closer to it and they would turn into like a tree or a lamppost or something. You're like, man, my brain is not working. And that was always a good sign to pull over and try to sleep. Well, the other thing about Australia is it's in September really cold, which we should have known because you could just Google that. But we're idiots, so we didn't.
I'd just like to say that most of my hallucinations involve Cinch turning into a pork chop.
Thanks.
Yeah, we had some like that for sure. I think we were all drinking the hot chocolates and warm beds at that point. So yeah, that was the low point. And, there were times there where we were like, man, this is. We knew this was dumb, but this is really dumb. Like
there are a lot of times that I've been riding across America and I have gotten so fatigued after 24, 25 hours in the saddle, just going for a thunder run, that I'm ducking to go under bridges. And I'm like, I just saw an 18-wheeler go into that bridge and I'm going to duck. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's funny, the stuff that your brain does when it's tired. And we wanted to make the movie more like a dark comedy for that reason, because a lot of adventure movies are like, really grandiose, it's like we're gonna break the record and learn about ourselves and find some kind of life truth and moral at the end of the road. And that was always pretty hollow for us, because we know that we're just a bunch of lucky little punks who get to go on a long vacation and call it work. And we're so tired that we're not arriving at these philosophical conclusions. Like most of the time, we're just trying to like make our brain work well enough to like eat a meat pie and keep going, So we tried to make the movie funny instead of serious.
At what point? So you're traveling around and you're having these doubts and everything, and you're having this like, why am I doing this? But at what point were you like, you know what? I think we can do this. And like, when did it kind of turn around for you? When were you like, oh, I'm like that second wind hits, and you're like, holy shit, we're gonna be able to pull this off?
Gonna make it. Yeah, it hit in Hawaii because we started and ended in Vancouver because that's where we live. So for us, you ride down across North America to Miami, and then you ride through Europe to Istanbul. You ride across India. That was insane. You ride through Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, also insane. You ride across Australia, which was so cold and kangaroo hell and dangerous, like ridiculous, the wildlife there. And then you make the flight in Sydney, and suddenly it's like, we have this in the bag, because you get to sleep like 12 hours from Sydney to Hawaii. And then there's a layover there, you get to sleep more. And then it's another long flight to get up to Anchorage in Alaska. You get to sleep more. So when we made the flight in Sydney, that was the first time that we realized we're going to get to catch up on sleep. We're going to be feeling as good as we've ever felt since the beginning of this trip. And from here, the only thing we have to do is ride from Anchorage down to Vancouver, which is a long way.
Yeah, it's fun.
But for us, that's our backyard. So we know We know the landscape. We know the environment. We know the wildlife. We're going to be back in our own country as soon as we cross into the Yukon.
Your passport might work.
Our passport's going to work. Like it was. So it was when we were sitting in the airport in Honolulu. We were like, all right, like these flights are going. And at that point, we were so far ahead of the schedule that we planned on that we knew, like, we got this record in the bag. Like, we can actually chill and rest a lot and take it easy and play it safe and still get the record at, like, you know, it's 18 days, 17 and a half days, something like that. Of course, we're idiots. So we're like, nah, screw that. Like, we've been running like bastards the whole time. We ended up doing a 24-hour straight haul to Whitehorse.
Oh, you did?
Hours, and do a 24-hour straight haul from Whitehorse back to Vancouver.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is hammering.
Just because we wanted a 16. It doesn't even mean anything. We were like, if we do that, we would just barely get like a 16-day, 23-hour some minute time. So if we barely made it back to Hope like before 6 a.m. So we just pushed super hard and took one more kind of dumb risk and got back pretty quick.
That's when they say this situation calls for an absolutely pointless gesture.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I just think of like the more people get killed coming down Everest than going up Everest, and it's like you get the blinded by the destination at that point. Maybe you like let your guard down a little bit, like we got this, like instead of like staying hyper focused.
There's a danger in there, and like you say, to some extent, like staying hyper focused is actually safer. Like I don't know if you guys watch MotoGP, but it's a thing in motorcycle racing where when a guy gets out in front and he's 4 or 6 seconds in the lead, if he starts to try to manage that and ride a bit slower, keep the tires, be safe, they'll often bin it because they're like losing their focus quite a bit.
Right.
Whereas when you kind of keep it on the edge and you're still like riding balls out, you keep the rubber side down because you're like really, really sharp and you're hyper focused on what you're doing. And that I think was it for us. We knew that we could go a bit slower and it would be quote unquote safer. But if we take the pressure off ourselves, maybe our brains start to relax. We're still super tired. We're still in a dangerous spot, and maybe we get into trouble there. So I think it felt just as safe to keep pushing really, really hard. And we wanted that 16 just because it's dumb and fun. And motorcycles are dumb and fun. Like they're dangerous and they're super fun. And this whole record was dangerous and super fun.
Speaking of that motorcycle, then, so after all those miles on it, did you pick the right bike?
I would say the right bike picked us.
Yay, nice.
When I decided I wanted to do this trip, I got in touch with every motorcycle manufacturer that I have a contact in, which is most of them. And I said, hey, I want to try to go around the world in less than 19 days. It's going to mean having bikes in all these continents. Do you want to be a part of it? And all of them said no. Half of the no's were, no, that's way too dangerous. We don't want to be a part of that. And the other half were like, no, we logistically can't organize that many bikes in that many different countries. And Ducati was the only manufacturer who off the bat was like, yes, it's an ace. We understand that we can do this. We put the bikes in different spots and we go for it. To the point where they were like asking if we wanted tire warmers on the bikes. Like, this is a racing company, and they really got it. And so that was our only yes, and that was the bike we ended up going with. If it's going to be a Ducati, obviously for this it's going to be the Multistrada V4 Rally because it's an adventure bike, 30-liter tank, huge range, tons of horsepower, right?
How many total sets of bikes were there throughout the world?
We had 2 in North America, 2 in Europe, 2 in India. We actually had 3 sets in Southeast Asia because there's weird laws there where the bikes couldn't cross borders. We had bikes for Thailand, bikes for Malaysia, and bikes for Singapore, and then bikes again for Australia. So I lost count.
I was counting.
Wow, so Ducati really committed. That's amazing.
They were amazing. As a company, they were amazing to deal with because they're so chill and passionate. So like, in every stage, it's like they want us to go fast. The bikes are sitting there at the airport, ready to go. They want us to like rock up to the airport and jump off and get right on the plane. Like they understood the fact that we were trying to set a hot lap. And at the same time, they're one of the less bureaucratic motorcycle companies to deal with. Like, you have the fun with a Ducati rep, it's usually some dude who's like a racer in that country where you're going, which is inherently easier to deal with than some of the seats you get at the other motorcycle companies. And on top of that, the bike was just flawless. Like people are always like, what went wrong? And lots of things went wrong with us and with the borders. With the bike, it was like nothing. We rattled a mirror loose in Australia, tightened that bolt, big whoop. And then we killed one of the bikes in Alaska electrically because we were off the motorcycles charging these massive film batteries that powered like our ACAMs and our action cameras and our mics and communicators and everything. So it's like way too much strain for the alternator. And eventually we just killed one of the batteries, jumped it, and it was fine. So otherwise, I mean, the bikes are flawless. Like they never gave us any problems, which is great. And also probably what you'd expect from a modern machine. Like I think you could take any modern bike around the world and you're going to be fine. It's really not worth overthinking too much. But anyway, kudos to Ducati. They worked phenomenal.
So I'm looking at some pictures from Connor's Instagram, and he's got a shot of him in India where he is wearing a Hermit carbon fiber helmet camera that looks like it goes about 24 pounds. Did he ride that on the fast leg, or is that just for the B-roll, the second leg?
Those shots we went just for the B-roll, and the reason is not so much about the weight, actually. Like both Connor and I have worn that helmet for like hours, and you have a big. If you're just listening, it's a helmet, like a motorcycle helmet, except with no safety ratings whatsoever. It's probably the most dangerous thing you've ever worn in your life. It has big metal rods pointing at your jugular. And on those metal rods, you mount a film camera. So it's like the GoPro that you put on your chin, but with like a big ass cinema camera. And that gives you these really nice rider's seat shots that are like rich and have texture and depth of field and whatever. And so you have all that weight hanging in front of your helmet. So you stick a counterweight or a big battery on the back or your audio mixer, and that kind of balances the whole rig. But now front to back, it's like 2 feet long. So you're wearing like a pirate ship on your head. And we filmed a bunch of B-roll on that thing for the movie. The reason we didn't have it on the record itself is because we couldn't check any luggage. We had to be able to get to the airport, hop on the plane, get off the plane, hop on the bikes and go. There's no hope of ever checking a bag. You wouldn't want to wait for it. And that meant that we could only bring what would fit, in a backpack. So we had a top box that was a carry-on size that was on one of the bikes that had our film gear in it. And then each of us got one side case to pack like undies and socks in and shit. And that was it. So we didn't have room to carry this ridiculous filming helmet rig, but used it on the pickups. And it is a funny looking thing.
So going against every adventure magazine that's ever written an article, touting the fact that you have to have $35,000, riding suits and stuff. What kind of gear did you wear on your journey?
Yeah, just clothes, man. I think I seriously disappointed some of my buddies at Wrestle on this topic because I jumped on their podcast and they're like, "So what'd you wear?" And I was like, "I don't know, man, pants." Like, I'm really not much of a gearhead, and my thought process was like, my brain's gonna be so tired just from the riding and the logistics that I don't want to have to think about anything else. So for me, like the most comforting, relaxing thing is just to wear like, these pants that I wear every day and a shirt and like just go.
Yeah.
Because if you have a credit card and a passport, you can go around the world. Like that's all you need. If you need anything on the way, you'll be able to buy it. But like most likely you're not gonna need shit. So I was just wearing normal pants, normal shirt, a sweater when it got kind of cold. And then we shipped to Alaska. We shipped some cold weather gear because we knew it'd be snowing up there. So I sent up I have this huge yellow one-piece suit, which is actually from a company called Ocunomics, and they make clothes for like guys who build stop signs at construction sites. It's like the warmest thing you've ever worn. It's PTFE, which is the stuff Gore-Tex used to be made out of before they realized that it like screws the environment forever and stopped making stuff out of that, but it's really waterproof. And yeah, you can still get it in these weird off-brand suits. So I shipped that to Alaska to wear on the way down, and I didn't carry it the whole way around because we wouldn't have had room on the planes for the carry-out reason. So yeah, that's a little snapshot of the gear. Not super, not super interesting from a motorcyclist perspective, but very chill just to ride in normal stuff. And we weren't all like that. My buddy Connor had, he was kitted. He strategically chose some stuff based on what he thought he'd need, and I think he would tell you that he made the right choice. He's really happy with his gear. So I strokes for different folks.
Yeah, I like the fact that like you kind of proved that you can just do what you want. You can just do stuff. You don't have to actually buy all the stuff. You can just do stuff.
Yeah, and you're like, especially going around the world, like you're gonna get to India and feel like a dink because you're gonna be there and you're like super tactical shit, and you're on the road with thousands of motorcyclists who are in like dress pants and a collared shirt and like going to work,
Yeah.
And they ride motorcycles every single day. Like they put way more miles on those things than you put on your, multi-strat or GS or whatever. And so you kind of have to respect it, even if you don't want to do it, even if you want to gear up and like be quite tactical with your gear and slide rated and hurt ads, like that's totally cool. I understand those choices. But for me, I kind of lean more the other way where it's like, hey, be comfortable, relax, like go and just kind of go with that because it's so vanishingly hot as well. Like there does reach a point where it's so hot, at least for me, I think I'm safer in a t-shirt than I am in a jacket because in a t-shirt, I'm actually comfortable and I can do that for 18 hours a day. Whereas if I'm in a jacket, I'm just dying. We're going to get heat stroke and fall off the bike riding in a straight line.
How did that Panigale V4 do in India heat? Like that had to be fairly interesting.
It never overheated. It's a clever engine. So it
shuts off half of its cylinders.
Back two cylinders. Yeah, exactly. So it's a V4, but it can run as a V2. And that obviously gives the cooling system a massive advantage on the engine. So it can keep itself cool below 5,000 RPM. It's also super detuned. Like this is the engine that makes 210 horsepower in the Panigale, and it brought it down to 160 in the Metro bike, which is still a crazy amount of horsepower.
Yeah. But it's so under stress now. It's
so under stress.
Yeah,
that's it. The only thing we boiled in India was the rear brake reservoirs. So there are a few descents in West Bengal. It gets like really mountainous and twisty, and it's like some big climbs. It's a big long descent. And there were a few of those where I cooked the rear brake fluid and kind of lost the rear brake. And that's not so much on the bike as it is on my riding style. Like when I have a pillion, I use a lot of rear brake just to not create the nosedive, but like torch your helmets together and that kind of thing. So I was kind of overusing it and boiled it there. But that's sort of, oh shit, my rear brake's gone. You stop using it for a few minutes, then it comes back. So it's okay. And the ABS systems are so hard on it as well. Like wash systems are so good. They're like interrupting your braking force 30 or 100 times a second. And that puts a lot of strain on the fluid. So,
I've got a question.
Coped with the heat.
Yeah. I got a question about the human psychology of this because Edwin, you and Connor, you guys spent quite a bit of time planning this thing. So, before you ever sat on the first motorcycle, you had to spend quite a bit of time noodling this out and looking at maps and figuring this out. Probably spending every day with each other already. And then you go and get immersed with these people for 16 days under what I like to call boot camp conditions, right? So
it felt a bit like that.
You spent more time with these guys than you spent with your wife for probably months and months.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I've probably spent more hours cuddling Edwin than I have cuddling my wife in the last reasonable time frame. Like you're spooning on that bike for 24 hours a day.
I have a wife who rides motorcycles. That doesn't mean she rides on the back of my motorcycle. Getting my wife on the back of my motorcycle, you'll never see it happen. It's only during emergency. She rides her own bikes, right? And so for me, I've always been kind of like, oh, it's great. I've had too much to drink and my wife has actually driven me home. And I'm a 200-pound drunk monkey on the back of a motorcycle and she's 150 pounds soaking wet. But she had no problem with a big, Honda VTR 1000 and my drunk ass on the back of it.
Oh, awesome.
So she's a superhero. But
good rider.
We think about, this amount of time that you're spending and it's none of it's like peaceful. Oh, I'm just going to enjoy myself. You guys were under the gun for 16 days of just go, go, go.
Yeah, it's true. We're a good trio to be under that amount of pressure, I think. none of us take anything to heart. So we can be pissed and screaming at each other, and then 2 minutes later, it's like totally fine. That just kind of all slides off the duck's back there. And we also sort of fortuitously had this weird isolation thing happen right before the trip where Connor was deep in his scheduling. So he built like a Gantt chart for every stage. So every fuel stop, like down to the minute. So it's like, we knew exactly how, all right, we got 5 minutes and 30 seconds here, and then the next one. And, he was really deep into planning the route. I was sort of working on totally different stuff at this time, trying to backlog content for the YouTube channel while we were gone. And Edwin, my filmmaker, is from Lebanon, and he went back to Lebanon, and then Israel started bombing it, and all the flights got shut down. So he was just stuck there. So we couldn't see him for like a couple months before the trip because he was like stranded near Beirut. And so he came back, and we did like one long practice ride where we went and rode a 1,500 kilometer day, like the week before we left on the trip. And then that was it. Like it was really very little in the way of preparation at all. And especially very little in the way of like preparation interpersonally. We hadn't seen much of each other at all before the trip, which probably worked in our favor.
So you were obviously trying to hurry. Did you have any trouble with the authorities? I mean,
yeah, a little bit. We were hustling. There's no doubt. The thing about trying to break this record is you don't really want to ride too fast because the faster everything's coming at your brain, it's like more fatiguing to process things.
Probably more about not putting your feet down.
Exactly. Yeah. It's mostly about keeping your rest stops to like 4 or 5 minutes and always going tank to tank, like never, making sure you get those 400 kilometer stretches and not stopping very, very briefly.
Did you hit any borders where you're like, these guys are going to throw our whole game off? Like, were there any borders that were just insane?
Yeah, Turkey. We had massive problems at the Turkish border because the bikes were EU bikes. None of us were EU citizens. And again, we didn't do our research well enough, but that's something that can't happen. We were not allowed to bring those bikes into Turkey at all. And we kind of tried to get paperwork and power of attorney from Ducati, Portugal, where this bikes had originated. And they kind of worked that out, but then there were more problems with us. And we're a Canadian American, a Lebanese guy, looks kind of weird. We say we're filming a movie, but like we don't have that much camera equipment. Like, nothing makes sense. And the Turkish border, some palms got greased, and they ended up kind of trying to do like a rush import job on these bikes, and we got held up there for like 5 hours. Damn. It was at the point where we had like 45 minutes to our flight and a 2.5 hour ride to the airport, which is like, we're not going to make this thing. But we finally got liberated. The flight popped up as an hour delayed. So we were like, shit, maybe it'll be delayed more. And we got off the phone with this fixer guy in Istanbul. He's like, Ryan, I've done this in an hour and a half in my car. Like, you can do this in 45 minutes. Like, disregard the speed limits, use the emergency lanes. This is an emergency. I'll be there waiting for you, whatever. So we ride this insane ride to Istanbul airport, and we'll see if it ends up being censored in the final cut. Right now it's not censored, and you can see on the speedometer, like, whoa, we're like basically at the top speed of this motorcycle, which is sort of the going pace on that highway from the Kapıkule's crossing to Istanbul. Like on the toll roads in Turkey, if you pay the toll, it's kind of like a free pass. It's almost like the Autobahn. You don't really get pulled around on the toll roads. So we weren't doing anything that, some dude in a Mercedes wasn't doing too, but it was super, super fast. And then we get to the airport, and they've arranged for this other man. There's this bald guy, and he doesn't speak English. And they tell us, like, there's this bald guy, don't lose him. He doesn't know who you are. He can't talk to you, but, like, he knows everyone at the airport, and, like, he'll get you through. So we find this guy, and we follow him in, and Istanbul airport's like heaving. There's these massive like crowds of people. No one's lining up. It'd probably take you like 5 hours to get through this airport. And this bald guy leads us through this side door, and we're suddenly in this like pristine, empty, like first class terminal where it's security, but it's not. Like they kind of look at you and go like, "Go ahead, sir." And then you go to your check-in, and they're like, "Go ahead, sir." And like you just breeze us through this like weird. Sort of private part of the airport and pop up at our gate, and the flight's just boarding, and we barely make it. So it was a crazy day, and that border screwed us up a lot. And yeah, just the size of the days is weird. Like that day started in Italy in Arizona, like 36 hours previously, right? So you go through like 5-6 countries and through the night and through the day and part of the next nights and have all this mad race and bribing and crazy shit going on. And then it's like, all right, sleep as much as you can, guys. Plane's about to land in India.
So did you have like a three, like I know like when you watch Itchy Boots and she's doing her thing, she has like a 3-ring binder that she takes and has all the stuff in it. Like, is that something like, were you prepared? Like, did you have all that stuff laid out and everything?
Yeah, we did. Connor called it the shock and awe method.
Yes.
Like, some border guards, you just want to overwhelm them with shit.
That's how it works.
They've got a line, and they have to kind of get you through and get to the next people. And they also don't want to deal with like 500 pages of documentation. So we did have that. And it worked to varying success. Some wars it worked. Some guys are just like, I can't look at this, go to the secondary area, and then you're stuck there. For
the $100 bill bookmark always helps too.
$100 bill bookmark definitely helped in a few places. We got, in India, they were threatening to take us to jail and impound our bikes, and they just want some rupees.
Right. Yeah.
What was the premise? Just for being there? Or?
No, we were on a bridge that we were supposed to be on. The roads in India are kind of tricky because there's tons of roads where motorcycles aren't allowed.
Oh.
Because motorcycles there are usually like pretty small and pretty slow, so they just don't allow them on a lot of the highways and the bridges and things like that, or they turn into clusterfuck. And we ended up on one where we weren't supposed to be. And so, but they kind of use these scare tactics, and none of it was going to happen. They just wanted to be paid off. And we got free of that, and pulled over in Australia. That one was pretty chill, but yeah, we carried lots of paperwork and a bit of cash to solve those problems. A huge part about doing this for the film crew too is you need visas. Like if you're a tourist, that's chill. They're like, okay, tourist on a motorcycle, we see this, 100 times a day. But if you have a film kit and you're a film crew and you're shooting a documentary, that has to go past like the cultural attaché and the Bureau of Tourism, and like they want to make sure that you're not filming things that cast their country in a bad light. There's like way more steps involved, and so that meant that in the 12 months leading up to the trip, we had to do a bunch of these legal loopholes and then carry a bunch of the paperwork with us to prove that we jumped through the hoops.
Wow. You have gone around the planet and you spent less time getting hassled by customs than I spent bringing a motorcycle to fucking Ontario.
That's Ontario, baby, man.
I'm telling you, man. Like 5 hours would have been a gift.
Yeah.
I was trying to bribe guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's sometimes just the little ones that get you. Like it's happened to us too. Like some of our biggest border problems that we've had is just trying to go down to Washington to like pick up a bike or shoot something.
Right.
It's so random. Like border guards are little gods. Like they have so much power, and it depends on the day. Like how are they feeling, right? And if they feel like they want to pull you aside and ask you 10 million questions and reject you and send you back, and that's going to be on your record for life, and it's a problem, they can do that just based on the way that they feel about you and you entering the country, which is fine. Like I understand that that's how border security should work in a lot of places, but it means that you don't really know what to expect when you rock up to spots.
I got to spend an extra 3 days in Surrey, British Columbia, because I was trying to bring a 30-year-old car from Canada into the United States. And I just happened to I kept nailing the same border guys. So it was ugly, but I ended up having to go into the States and rent a truck, drive back to Surrey. And the people of this little motel got to really know me in Surrey. And I went back with a Penske truck and put the little car in the Penske truck, and then had no problem getting across the border that time. So
that's it. Yeah, so we take bikes cross border all the time, no problems. Then we went through once, and we got this border guard who knew the channel, and he was like, "I say the same thing I was doing. It's like, hey, I got this YouTube channel. We're going down to shoot the bike. We're going to do that today. Come back, and it's always been fine because YouTube is like whatever. They don't care about it." But this one guard who knew Fort9, he was like, no, your guys' videos are like really professional. You're a film crew. And therefore that runs afoul of our union protections for American film crew doing this. And it turned into this massive problem, and he red flagged us. And he's like, I'll give you enough rope to hang yourself and let you in today, but can't ever do this again.
Okay.
It turned into a big problem because we pick up a lot of press bikes in America because they keep press fleets in Canada. We ended up having to hire lawyers to talk to border guards and be like, how do we do this legally? Like, we're not trying to sneak anything by you. We just want to do this legally. Like, tell me who we have to pay, what we have to get. And none of them knew, because we were a YouTube channel that's not clearly defined in border law, because it's like a new thing. But this guy decided we were a film crew, and now that was on our record. And anyway, it created this whole big problem, just kind of based on the different perceptions of how border guards see us. So
You just need to be a shittier YouTube channel. So if you're a shittier YouTube channel,
I've had no problems.
So what you're saying is we're fine.
if you say ClevelandMoto, they're going to be like, "Oh, you poor kids, just go ahead."
So I found this. We've been joined right now in the chat. There's a lot of people from all over the world listening to this, and I found one that was really funny that I have to let you know. We have a buddy Alex down there in Australia, and he said there's a very good reason us Australians live on the coast, and I guess Ryan found out why. Because you went right through the middle, apparently, right? Or
kind of across the bottom. The middle part is there's not a lot there. And one of the tricky things there, so they have a 90-mile straight. It's like a 90-mile straightaway with no turns. And they make a big deal about it. There's always signs like, hey, 90-mile straight, longest in the world. But there's also like a 72-mile straight, 68-mile straight. So many straights. And the cops, because it's so long and straight, they can get you on the radar from like the curvature of the earth. So before you ever see them, they'll get you for speeding. And speeding in Australia is different. You know, in America and in Canada, there's kind of this unwritten rule, like you can go 10 over 15, you're not going to get pulled over. In Australia, they're like stringent. It's like 2 over, too bad, here's your ticket. And so we were warned going across the middle that you really want to set back cruise control at the speed limit and stick to it, or you will get dinged. And we went a bit over, and we did get dinged. So that ended up being they improved accurate.
So was it literally like you're in the middle of nowhere and there's just a cop car all of a sudden?
Yeah, it was that. Like, there's these signs out there where it's like next fuel 350 kilometers, and you will see nothing for 350 kilometers except for kangaroos and wallabies.
And apparently a cop.
And a cop. Yeah, it's like, yeah, dude. And then you get to the end of the straight and you think like, oh, the way says 350K, like, you know, it's going to be, I don't know, like beer and restaurants and food and you know, it's going to be civilization. And at the end of the 350K, it's just like another shitty roadhouse with like, you know, the same crappy meat pies you had 350 kilometers ago, and the same like pissed trucker dudes who are having to do the same thing. And it's really cool. Like, I love the wilderness aspect of it is great, but man, there's really nothing out there in terms of in terms of amenities. So you got to be prepared and bring gas and food and water and all that shit you need with you, because the service out there is really spotty too. And if the service drops and they can't take your payment, they'll just disappear. So you'll rock up to the only gas station at 350K and they'll be closed. So,
but to be clear,
gas, like you're pretty fucked.
Yeah, but to be clear, when you say bring that stuff with you, it's all on the bikes. You didn't have any kind of chase crew or a truck following you.
No. It's because we were riding so fast and constant. There's no hope of ever like staying with a chase crew. Like we'd lose them and we'd never catch them again, or rather they'd never catch us again. So it was just the bikes, and we just carried everything we could on these bikes. We had tons of gas on the bikes in Australia. We packed more food and fluids, as we could as well. So yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank you so much for coming on and letting the folks know. The movie's called Yalla Habibi, right? And come on, that's not like go faster. That's not that's not anything that you're going to spend half your days explaining why you called this movie Yalla Habibi. Did you guys know about the song before you took the ride?
No, we didn't. Honestly, we didn't know it was called Yalla Habibi until like a week ago.
Okay.
We just kind of made the movie and we're hoping that some title would jump out at us the whole time.
Right.
Internally, we always call it the fast way around.
Right.
Because that's what we were trying to do. But
it's totally what it is. Yeah.
Legally, we couldn't call it that, right? Like, that's totally copyright.
No, that's going to be the movie that ClevelandMoto makes next week is going to be called The Fast Way Around.
Yeah, they might get away with it. Different rules.
But you can only watch it with the subscription fee.
Right, exactly.
That's right. So, we watched through a cut, and it was getting near the end, and Edwin, our filmmaker, is in Lebanon, and so when he wants to tell us to hurry up, he's like, Yalla Habibi,
sure,
let's go, buddy, or let's go, babe. Like, come on, let's freaking hurry up, brother. So it ended up being the thing that we said to each other like a lot over the course of the movie. And
I'm going to adopt that.
yeah, it's phonetically cool. It sounds cool. And yeah, we were just like, screw it. Let's just call it that. It sounds like nothing to people who don't speak Arabic. We'll just be like, okay, sure.
I spent some time in the Middle East, and I said "Bada imshi" about 400 times a day, which is, emphatically get the fuck away from me. Right?
Okay.
So,
One of the listeners said long way, eh? So I do have a couple listener questions that I wouldn't mind asking you.
Oh, yeah.
One of the guys asked, so what was the furthest distance on any of the one bikes that you traveled? Like, what was the one that you handed in and was like, wow, that was a lot of mileage on the one bike?
The most mileage? Oh, yeah. I think the highest mileage stage is actually North America, because Alaska to Miami is the biggest single stretch. So it would have been that one. Yeah. Our longest single ride day, I think, was in Southeast Asia. Like, we rode from Bangkok to Singapore without stopping. It was like 40 hours or something like that. So that would have been the longest single day.
That was the other question. Somebody said, how long were you up for? Like, what was your longest stretch of being up?
Yeah, for like 40 something hours. And that wasn't that special. Like, I think we did another like 40-ish hour one in that second stage of Europe from Aranzano to Istanbul, just because of all this screwery at the borders. So yeah, there were lots of really long days, lots of kind of 24-hour ones. That was like kind of the norm, was sort of like ride 22 hours, sleep for 2 was like kind of really common.
What's your stimulant of choice?
Coffee. I really can't stand like energy drinks. So it was coffee, but before the trip we went totally clean. Like, we, no caffeine or junk food for like the weeks leading up, to kind of get to like a really nice natural base, like solid energy. And we mostly kept to that. Like, you perform your best when you just eat like good real food and drink tons of water, because dehydration makes you tired. But then still, like, when you were expecting to sleep after 24 hours and you're still pushing at 40, of course, like, you get a gas station, you grab a coffee. That kind of gets you through the next tank. So we did a little bit of that. The other things that I really recommend are these things called Nuun, Nuun. They're like they come in like a little capsule. There's like 20 tabs in there. So they're really light to pack, but they have a bit of caffeine, tons of vitamins, electrolytes, and you drop them in like a water bottle or whatever. I mean, it turns the whole thing into like a sort of Gatorade seltzer type thing.
We had a guy
Those
used
are
to sell those.
super packable and super good. Yeah, they kept us moving.
They used to call it Metabolife.
Yeah. You spurred another question. So on your trips, since you were drinking coffee, where did you find the best coffee on your trip?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Europe for sure. Italy, like it's funny. We got a really good sampling of the road food all the way around the world, because we're always just kind of eating what we can grab on the go.
But Italy knows how to do freeway. Like, truck stops in Italy are legit.
Gosh. It's not at all like it is here. Like in Canada and America, gas station food is just garbage, right? Yeah. It's like those taquitos or like whatever. And it tastes great. I'll eat them all day long, but they'll make me feel like crap.
Yeah.
And then you get to Europe and the gas stations have like 8 pastas on the menu.
Yeah.
And they're like freshly made right there. And in Spain, they have these things called fuet. And they're like it's a big, long, cured meat stick that's just like delicious and protein and good for you. And like the roadside food in Europe is unbelievable. And India as well, because the dabas there, they feed truckers. They're like literally 3 feet off of your route is like the big oven, and they're cooking all day, and they just serve you up whatever they're making, and it's so good.
Was there anything that you had to avoid? Because obviously you can't have any kind of stomach issues when you're trying to set a record. So was there were you conscious of what you were eating? Kind of.
My mentality was always like, I'm going around the world. I'm going to freaking enjoy it.
That's right.
And if we don't get the record, who gives a shit? It's just a number. So in India, I was like, give me all those hot curlies. Like, give me those noodles in Malaysia. Like, give me everything. I'm going to eat the fruit. I'm going to eat everything. And just see what happens. So I did that. I was pretty lucky. Like, I have a sensitive stomach at the best of times, but I didn't really get sick on the trip. I think your body kind of knows when it is doing something like really hard. It kind of knows not to screw around. At least my body does. So like, we all got sick. Like, we all got like a cold or a flu or something in Australia, and burned through it in like 12 hours. I think that place just knew, like, I don't have time to be sick right now.
I'm not sure I'd want Jelly Belly on the long ride.
Yeah, Deli Belly on a long ride is a bad idea. But I've also experienced in my life where when you're under extreme stress for a couple, 3 weeks at a time, your body just goes into like this beautiful self-preservation. I don't have time to get sick mode. And you can shovel anything you want in your gob and you're going to be just fine. But the second you settle down and be like, okay, it's all over, then it happens. Make sure you don't leave a toilet for a couple of days.
I got one more question from the audience here, and then make sure you give us a full plug after this to make sure that anybody joining us now knows exactly where to watch this movie, where they can download it, where they can buy it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
So the question is, what was the scariest moment on the trip for you personally?
Scariest moment would be in Australia when it's really, really cold. In most of Australia, and especially in the Nullarbor, the kangaroos huddle in the middle of the roads because the road retains a bit of the heat. So you'd come up over a rise at night and there'd be 40 kangaroos and they'd run 40 different directions. And you're just kind of like,
oh, fuck.
So sort of trying to figure it out.
Man.
And then how big, and kangaroos, most people have a misconception about kangaroos. They think they're like cute little dudes that kind of hang out and stuff. Like, they're pretty
Yeah. Those are probably the wallabies. The wallabies are littler, but there's these big red ones that are huge.
Yeah.
And they're like jacked and they'll kick the shit out of you. And we saw lots of both. And wombats are like these little roving speed bumps. They're super hard and they'll like tackle a rim. Like they're really intense. But that was the scariest because there's not really anything you can do about it. Like all the locals were just saying like, oh, mate, like you can't ride it on. But we're like, we don't have a choice.
You have no choice. Australia's freaking huge.
Yeah, we're trying to break a record and there's no choice. So we're going to do it. But I understand the advice because there's very little you can do. You come over a rise. There's all this wildlife in the road. Like nothing I've ever seen. Like in Canada, I've hit deers, I've hit bear, but it's not that common, like you might have a few close encounters on a long trip. In Australia, it was ridiculous. It was like 40 kangaroos every 5 minutes. It's like constant. And if you love kangaroos, don't go to Australia because the whole way across is just littered with gore and blood and bits of kangaroos. And the trucks have these huge rhubars on them and they're all covered in blood. And it's just like a melee because these things are like pests. They have no predators anymore. They're reproducing like crazy. So anyway,
Mad Max was 50% just natural.
Yeah, that was it.
Totally. Yeah, it's oh man, it's gnarly. Yeah, that'd be the scariest thing for me. Awesome. And it doesn't matter how good of a rider you are. It's like
that's like Russian roulette. You're just taking a chance, just hoping like the math doesn't work against you.
100%.
All right, so break it down. Where can all the people listening right now watch this amazing movie?
Yeah, so right now, I would say that the best thing you could do if you go to Fort9's YouTube channel, like 2 or 3 videos ago, we posted the trailer. It's called Yalla Habibi. You can watch the trailer for the movie. So go check that out. If you like the looks of it, right underneath that trailer are a couple links. One of them will take you to the theater page where you can buy tickets to come see it in theaters, and we'll be there, and you can watch the movie that way. And if you don't live in Vancouver, there's another link there where you can purchase the movie. It's $10. And on December 27th, you'll be able to download it and keep it forever. You can buy it right now, but you won't be able to see it until the 27th when the thing gets released. So that's it.
Awesome.
That is fantastic, Ryan. I got to say, a lot of our podcast people, because we reach out to a lot of people that are non-traditional, not big money motorcycle people. Our shop, we started the whole idea on a $500 motorcycle. So
cool.
We like our whole world is always like obtain shitty old Honda, make shitty old Honda work. Right.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
That's kind of our world. That's what we like. That's how John and I got to know each other.
Yeah. There's nothing better than a Honda VT 500 Ascot.
That's right. Greatest bike ever made. Yeah.
Wait. I'm going to put in a couple words for the TW200, Ryan.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah,
love
we got
T-dub,
a lot of love for the T-dubs around here.
Yeah.
And that's one of those, like, for us, there's so much of that stuff when we go into an event and we meet somebody or we're bullshitting about motorcycles and somebody says a word, you know what happened? You know the feeling when you're like, oh shit, he can't know about that. I'm the only one that's allowed to know about like a Wankel rotary or whatever. Yeah. And you say that and you realize you just stumbled into a nest of like-minded individuals.
Conquistador.
And you're like, shit, I'm never going to get out of here. You know?
Yeah, it's like two white leopards like happening on each other in the wilderness.
It really is.
And it's like, damn shit, there's more of us.
Yeah,
out here.
and it's really funny in the motorcycle community because, you know, there's a point in your life where you can only afford the $500 motorcycle. And then there's a point in your life where you can afford the $5,000 and the $10,000 motorcycle. The problem is we all still love the $500 motorcycle. And that's kind of our whole jam around here is we are always grabbing bikes and being like, well, this seems like a decent place to put 40 hours of my time. And it's a joy. And it really is. We're joking earlier about Mid-Ohio, but that's the entire ethos of Mid-Ohio is it's all about, oh man, I saw that guy walk past my booth and he's carrying the one part that I need for my, Trail 110. And you'll chase that guy down. And you'll be like, dude, sell me that part. I need that. And he's like, no, I just got it. I've been looking for it for 20 freaking years.
Yeah.
And then you become best friends.
Then you're best friends forever. Right. Exactly. That's it.
You do really need to see Mid-Ohio. It's something special.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we love it.
But you guys sound exactly like robust dudes here.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I took John up to the One Show, the Portland One Show a few years ago. So we went up to the Portland One Show, which from Cleveland, Ohio is kind of a hike, right? And so we went up and we had such a good time. And it was great to realize, the Pacific Northwest people, and I've got a lot of people that are my friends that live up in that area. And we show up and we had an entire blast, but we just realized we're like, it's the same community. It's just better scenery, right?
Better weather.
Yeah. And
better scenery, different weather.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think that motorcycling is one of those strange things. In my world, man, if you'd have asked me 25 years ago, 30 years ago, there's no way I would have said, yeah, I'll be running a motorcycle shop 25 years from now, still doing it, right? Because my background isn't that. When we leave our background behind and we get into this weird little subculture, this weird little cult, sometimes we can't break free. Sometimes we end up stuck. Now, if you're lucky, it's fun, you know? I know a lot of people that are stuck in subcultures that aren't good for them.
I have somehow magically come back around to my field of study. Yeah. I'm actually doing the thing I went to college.
You went to school to do radio.
To do this.
Right.
Perfect.
Well, Brian, thank you so much. We don't want to take any more of your time.
You've been great, man. Thanks so much.
The whole time. So I really appreciate you coming on, and we look forward to watching the movie.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. I hope you enjoy it. It's been a blast. Anytime you guys want to do this again, I'd be in a heartbeat.
Awesome. Absolutely. And we'll keep the thing lit up. If you want to just stalk like a pervert in the background, you're more than welcome to. We strongly encourage it.
And we will send reminders about Mid-Ohio because I think it'll change your life.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm going to want to join you guys on that cool event you were talking about, right? Vintage and vintage motorcycle days, right?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
vintage motorcycle days. It's just bonkers.
It is.
It's the largest vintage motorcycle event in the world.
Yeah, we can set up a projector screen. We can have a viewing.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah, other world.
Oh yeah, we have the tents for it.
We do have the technology.
Yeah, we set up a city. Yeah. It's our thing. We don't do anything else right, but we do that pretty well.
The swap meet alone is what, 43 acres?
The swap meet is 43 acres. Plus, we have the entire Mid-Ohio sports car course, like this entire 2.5 mile road racing course that's all vintage motorcycles all weekend long. They bring out the Wall of Death. There's all that fun stuff with that, too. For years and years, we did seminars. I've probably done seminars there for 10 or 15 years. Plus, then we started doing podcasts there.
Demo ride.
And then it's grown to the point where, like, a random metal band will show up and start playing in
weird
somewhere or different things. It's
there's a mosh pit.
There's a lot of like 8-year-old children running around on PW50s, just feral children running around that all somehow seem to survive the weekend.
It's pretty amazing though. And this hit me hard this year.
Yeah.
Like I had tears. This was the first year where like these kids came up that were like 14 or 15 now, and they came up to me, and I actually have to release this video. They came up and they said that they started listening to our podcast when they were 3 with their dad.
Yeah,
their dad went to Mid-Ohio and bought his first vintage bike. And as a family, they worked on the bike together until they got it running and brought it to Vintage Days. And now he was here this year and they met us and hung out. And like, that was crazy. That was like 14 years of them doing that with us. And then, I don't know. I was like,
and only five
shots.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
You're getting the next generation into it.
That's kind of the fun thing is you're there and, we put up a ramp in front of our big campsite. We'll put up a ramp.
It's not a ramp.
That says, it's literally painted on. It says not a ramp. And everybody will be like, you're just cruising along. And you're like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to hit the ramp. Yeah. And they'll just random kids will hit the ramp, and then moms and dads will hit the ramp, and it's fun. And then, security shows up, like the local sheriff or whatever shows up on an ATV, and he's just like, oh man, come on guys, you're kidding me. Like, hey, what are you doing? And it's remarkable how much they'll give you. It is remarkable how non-invasive they are. Yeah, and cool. Yet it's nonstop. It's either, it's alcohol, it's fireworks, it's wheelies.
Here's you know what it is? This is I'm not going to take credit for this. This was Swiggy from ClevelandMoto. Yeah. He said Mid-Ohio is what all Harley people say that their rallies are, but aren't.
Okay, cool.
Without, and I don't know. You'll enjoy it.
It's a really good time.
But
sounds like a perfect time.
Excellent.
I'm into that. I'll see if I would want to be hard to talk the boys into it. Maybe we can make it fit.
Yeah, all you got to do is show up at an airport. We'll take care of the rest of it.
Yep.
We've been doing this for years. Yeah.
I will see you guys there.
All right, mid-July.
We'll see. Cheers. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, ride fast, take chances, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, man. You too.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Yep. Later.
Well, that was it's nice when people turn out to be really nice people, have done crazy, cool, fun stuff. And then you're like, no, that guy's just part of our crew. Clearly, that, there's absolutely nothing about him that isn't what we surround ourselves with and hang out with. And the fact that he's been able to go ride around the planet is pretty freaking cool. That's just everything you could hope for. I mean,
well, it's cool to find out, it's nice to find out that the person is who you think they are.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. It's except for like when I met Ewan McGregor and he's a giant prick. No.
He grabbed your ass.
He did grab my butt. Yeah.
And your wife encouraged it.
My wife very much liked that.
So now that the pressure's off, we can talk about. It was really fun to leave work today, trying to get here to make sure that everything was set up to go, and then a snowstorm fucking hits.
Just a blizzard.
Yeah, the highways are 22 miles an hour again, and I'm sitting there watching the time go by. Like, this is great. This is not a problem. My anxiety is not being bothered by this at all.
When we did our 500th episode, the amount of things that fell apart.
Oh, right.
Like, we could do 499 episodes, no problem, shoestring, barely getting the job done. For 500, everything broke.
I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to introduce Ryan to Shanky's whip. But maybe if he's still listening, he can.
Well, there's always Mid-Ohio.
There's always Mid-Ohio.
I feel like there's going to be a crate of this for Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, there might be. It is another fun thing because in the wintertime, what do we got? Well, in the wintertime, we're padding the walls of the igloo, looking for something to do, and being able to find content, being able to find cool, video stuff to watch. Because nobody's riding bikes today. That is, I did it one year. I tried to ride the bike all winter long, and it's fucking disaster.
I drove the Corvette today.
What?
Oh my God.
What? Are you kidding me?
Well, I had to work on my car, so
you had to.
I backed it out, and I'm like, well, there's only a couple inches of snow on the road. Let's take it for a drive.
You drove in circles everywhere you went.
It was sideways everywhere I went, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it went. I'm like,
should we call you Colin McRae now?
No.
The rally driver?
Did you at least have the top down?
Oh, no.
Oh, you jerk.
Of course not. Yeah.
I just did a little, rip around the block and everything, but
2 days ago,
moved. I was
you were able to go achieve forward momentum.
You were extremely careful. You could take off without just spinning the tires up.
Guess the motorcycle. After it snowed the first time 2 or 3 days ago, on 20, I got passed by a bike with snow on both sides of the road and everything. Not a new bike and not a Harley. Guess what would be riding? What would be the bike that comes to mind?
Fucking Ural.
Yeah, that's what
No.
BMW.
KLR.
Vespa.
86 Virago.
Oh, 86 Virago. No, that's his only wheels.
I know.
That's 100% his only wheels.
That was a trick question.
Yeah, it was.
Yesterday I was in Cincinnati dropping off the Gucci, picking up the bike nobody's seen yet, Tom saw it, the CB500X.
Oh.
So I was picking up a CB500X down in Cincy, and it was funny because the weather going down to Cincinnati was delightful. I left Cleveland at like 40 degrees and sunshine. It didn't get any worse in Columbus, and in Cincinnati, it was positively balmy 46, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever.
turned around, brought my ass home, and then just the snow and the salt. Like, it was me behind every salt truck between Cincinnati and Cleveland.
5 minutes after you left,
Yeah.
it started snowing.
Yeah, I guarantee
Renee and I
it.
both are standing.
I was supposed to leave
at.
it. I was literally supposed to leave at 11 a.m. and did not leave until after 2, right? So that screwed my whole trip up. But last night when I was coming home, and it was rather cold and rather chilly, I saw a guy on a Vespa.
Ooh.
And he was riding on black road that was only black road because the salt was doing its job. So everything that wasn't the tarmac, everything that was in the middle of the lane was just a pure powder, pure icy, sloppy nothing. Our parking lot at the shop got perfectly glazed. Yes. I mean, like a sheet of glass. You couldn't ask for a better ice skating rink.
Oh, I almost broke my leg the other day getting into the car, and I went, oh,
yeah,
right.
It is real.
See, Tom, when I pulled in, I was like, how do you not have spikes in your fucking buddy? You have a fucking block.
Well,
this would be a perfect time to put some spikes in that thing.
Well,
because he has to drive 7 blocks.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Speaking of,
if his driveway's plowed, he can make it the rest of the way.
how's the pond looking?
Oh, I haven't been out there because my house has been so cold. I have.
Don't you want to go outside and hang out
and just hang out in the cold and be chilly?
Yeah.
Go do some ice racing?
Actually, I should steal your SSR with the spikes in it. Just
Why
go.
not?
Yeah,
Put a flashlight on
it's
it.
John's. Yeah, come get it.
Oh no!
Believe me, I'm not going to be
the
mad.
one at the shop.
Yeah, we have one at the shop.
Just you.
All right, that's all we got to do.
Probably needs the carb cleaned.
It definitely does. It's been hanging from the. It's been hanging. From the
You know, it
pallet
doesn't
jack.
move very well. An SSR pit bike with flat tires and spikes.
Yeah, no, you're not dragging that across the floor.
No,
no.
They actually, I have to admit, the only reason I haven't commuted on the Buddy in the snow is because I actually don't want it to rot away.
Right.
The Buddy kicks that you brought back, that came back from Florida,
Holy
that had half the side rotted off of them.
These bikes aren't even that old. These bikes are less than 5 years old, but they've been living down in Florida, like Miami-ish, for the past 5 years. And the amount of damage by the salt. And we're not talking about like rock salt on the road so that you're not, falling down. We're talking about just ambient salt in the air. And these bikes are fucked. It's amazing how corroded they are.
So if you wanted a good deal on a Buddy kick.
Yeah. They run great. They're just
they're
bumpy.
amazing little
They're
scooters.
just bubbly.
Oh, yeah.
So weird. What was that?
What about the movie, Sleepy?
What? Oh, that was Moto Hop. I was just giving a thumbs up. Yes, it was Stone that I was talking about.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. When I loaded that bike up in the back of the truck last night down in Cincinnati, the guy was like, "Oh, I can't believe you came down here. It's so cold and everything else." I was like, "Wait, you're in Cincinnati?"
Yeah.
Like people that don't know Cleveland, don't know the state of Ohio.
You got down there and unzipped your
It
pants.
is a
and
different
shorts.
state. When we talk about Cincinnati, and the guy comes out and he's just shivering and everything else. And I pull the Gucci out of the back of the truck, and I'm, to me, I'm just thrilled. It's nice out.
It's a balmy 45 degrees.
It's over 40. How much I could? The sun just went down.
Cincinnati is almost a tropical climate zone
For us, yeah.
Well, in general,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
What's hysterical? I'm still, even with the snow out, I'm still walking around in my hoodie.
Yes, yeah. Well, there's that. There's an element of that.
Guys,
Yeah.
What?
please, ready? Wait, where'd it go? Wait, I just lost it.
Oh, you lost
Here,
it.
there it is. Wait, ready?
Oh, breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news!
Bro.
This is a big one.
On ClevelandMoto.
I have heat.
Oh, you have heat in your house.
My wife just texted me. 16 days.
16 days.
I'm going home to heat, baby.
That's as long as the motorcycle trip around the world.
Yeah, they actually drilled the hole deeper and they tapped into a volcano.
Wait. He went around the world in the same amount of time that I haven't had heat.
There you go. He went around the world. You froze your ass off. Yeah.
So what was the actual final elapsed time for around the world?
What do you say?
16 hours or 16 days,
Yeah.
almost 17, like 16 and 23 or some shit like that.
I wanted to ask him how much of that was riding time, was seat time.
Right.
Of the
Because if you're crossing, where to go from Perth to Sydney is about 40 hours, give or take, of just seat time, of just being on a vehicle hauling ass, right? It's like 40 hours. And then we know that if we go from, I don't know. I will have to watch it to find out. But depending on what city he flew into in Alaska.
He said Anchorage.
Did he say Anchorage?
Yeah.
So,
he said that was one of the touchstone points. So you have to go from Anchorage down
Anchorage
to
Key West, right?
Yep.
So
Miami.
right. Yeah. Yeah, so like going from Anchorage to
Oh yeah,
Miami.
because if you try to leave out of Key West Airport, he'd be another 18.
Oh,
fucking hours.
yeah, that ain't gonna happen. So
Just the idea of riding 40 hours straight. I don't know.
Oh, dude, this is my whole goal in life, and I got to do it soon because I'm going to be falling apart, and I want to get out there.
Haven't you already fallen apart?
No, I mean like literally, like my leg's going to fall off.
I thought that already happened.
Sort
yeah,
of.
they probably didn't take the route, but it's about 79, 80 hours. So, give or take 5,000 miles. Well, he wasn't joking when he said like the most distance that two motorcycles went would have been the United States because Anchorage to Miami.
Yeah, right.
I made that trip a couple years ago up to Alaska and back on the bike. And then right when I got home, we got in a car and we drove to Miami, got on a cruise ship in Miami. So, and that was over a course of a month. And
That took a month, yeah.
That was, 3 weeks up to Alaska and back, and then a week down to Florida, and then a week on a cruise ship, and then driving back home after that.
I mean, maybe I'm naive, but why did they have to go to Miami to fly? I mean,
they didn't have to.
Why wouldn't
they could have gone to Atlanta?
Yeah, or something like that. Wouldn't that?
Well, you're looking for the longest distance, right. and like I said, and having flown in and out of Key West Airport too many times to comment on, that is the shittiest airport you can ever possibly fly in and out of because if it rains, you can't leave.
Yeah, and there's also the whole just driving across the bridge, the 8 Mile bridge, getting out of Florida, getting down to Key West. But it is, now that I looked at the map real carefully, it is kind of like Anchorage.
You got it up?
Is going to be, go ahead, pull it up.
From Anchorage, you got to go north and get around like...
Because so Highway 1, which is what you have to take, right? Because anyone's like, oh, well, I don't want to travel that far north. I don't want to go an extra 200-300 miles north. But that's the only road you can take.
Yep.
So, this whole idea, you're not going to be able to go coastal. You're not going to be able to stay coastal. You have to go all the way up to Talk. You've got to go. You have to follow Highway 1. There's a reason Highway 1 is what it is and where it is, because it's the only freaking place they could have put a road. And everything, it's a ball buster. When you get to certain points, like Whitehorse, you're like, okay, from Whitehorse, it seems like it's just going to be, okay, keep going straight, keep trucking, and you're going to do a straight line and be over in Anchorage, right? But that is not how it works. You got to go way the hell out of your way north to get to get to Anchorage.
And even when you get into like British Columbia there, you can't go due south there either. You got to go back to the east before you can go south.
Yeah, there is no, like when you talk about like people going the Alcan Highway and stuff, all of these, the little roads like 37 and stuff like that, that is not a reliable passage. So, when I've done it in the past, I mean, it is better to go Calgary, Edmonton, right? If you're not trying to have a close encounter with an animal. But yeah, that 97 up to Prince George and stuff. Did you do that? Did you run 97 up?
So on the way up, I took that same route that you just showed there.
Yeah, the 97.
On the way back, I actually got on a ferry in Skagway, and I got off in Prince Rupert, and then came south out there on the Yellowknife Highway, which is 16.
16, yeah. Yeah, I used that 97, and it was not 100% paved.
That's the Cassier Highway?
Yeah. And so that was a little dicey. That had its moments. Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting that's an interesting thing, thinking about doing that in a hurry. Because doing that in a hurry just seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this for a second. They were very fortuitous with their timing, because if they were going to try to do that now and we're not talking politics, just the world the way it is right now, there's no way they'd be getting any of this done. Like, I think their record is safe for a while.
Okay.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask.
So an American, a Canadian, and a Lebanese guy walk into a bar.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the joke. You could piss off anybody. With that particular crew,
the Canadians got it free.
But the point is, the Canadian might get the free pass everywhere.
Yeah, because the worst thing they're guilty of is being overly nice.
Right.
The whole world is. We've all agreed that Canadians are just overly nice.
Lebanese or United States flags on their backpack. Right? No. Yeah, it's the Canadian flag that gets sewed on the backpack. You're right. Guilty as charged. Yeah, that is something. And maybe that's the idea. You know, you've got, obviously they spent the time and they have the fixers that you need to have. So
sorry, Mr. Waters, you're not allowed into Canada. You've been charged with impersonating a Canadian.
A Canadian, right? Just this hat alone. Yeah.
I didn't even notice you were
I'm wearing my caribou hat, my Big Boo Lodge hat.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize I was
But how
wearing
am I going to spend all this
national colors.
Canadian Tire money if I can't get back in the country?
I got all this Princess Auto money. What am I going to do with it?
I did like how you got Canada Goose right.
Yeah.
That's important.
Well, I mean,
It's their Air Force.
come on, man.
I know you. I'm just saying. I expect no less.
I've lived in Cleveland my whole life.
Right.
That's it.
I had some very wonderful times up in Canada.
Yes, absolutely.
I fondly remember going on
Canada
trips.
is-
Well, we have to still make your Johnny Mac for president shirt. It could be like Making America Canada.
Make America Canada again. I have two campaign missions. My first campaign mission is get the dollar and the Canadian dollar par.
Yeah.
So even it out, which will be great for them, right? So we'll make the Canadian dollar and the US dollar par. That'll be our first goal, and healthcare.
Yeah.
Two things. It shouldn't be any big deal.
Nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We could just be
I
Canadian.
just want to be at the standard of Canada with our
But the trade-off is we're going to have to speak Quebecois.
No, you don't. You don't. The only time they're
I
speaking
fucking love
Quebecois up
Quebec.
there is when they know that you're an American. And then they lean heavy into
That's
it.
the problem.
My honeymoon with my wife Amy took place in Quebec, and it was the best fucking 2 weeks of my life, man. I was in a cave drinking absinthe at one point.
I've never had a bad time. And it's funny that
So did she go with you?
Yes. So wait. I have to interject. Check this out. This was crazy. So we went down to this. We met a bunch of locals, and we went to this bar called the Cave or something. It was kind of a cave, and so they brought out what I assume, because Canada's cool, was real absinthe.
right.
So we had several shots of real absinthe because we were both drinking many years ago.
Sure.
And so the only thing I remembered was waking up at our Airbnb. And the Airbnb was no longer in the condition that it was when it started.
Oh yeah, it was a whole different
I
experience.
couldn't find Amy. And when I found Amy, she was face down naked in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's okay.
You
that's,
Hunter S. Thompson
That's
that shit.
good. So then we kind of both woke up, and because we got a phone call saying that the breakfast was ready. And so we both walked downstairs to the horror of finding out that 3 other families with children had been staying there that night. And they looked at us like we had done something awful.
So had Amy gotten dressed?
Well, yeah, at that point, yeah. But so we took our breakfast to go, and then we switched Airbnbs and never went back to that one. But yeah, wonderful place though.
It's
Amazing.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is one of those things that when
Here, Sean.
kind of when Merritt and I went up there, we were like, yeah, we're just gonna go
That's my
we're gonna go to
West
Montreal, we'll do Quebec, we'll drive up, and the joke was always it's practice France. So you can just you can just get your shit together.
We didn't really have the money to go to Europe for our honeymoon. So it was like, where can we go where people don't speak a lot of English? And then we happened to go on the year of some kind of like a bicentennial of Quebec, something. So they had all these reenactments from like the 1700s or something. It was awesome. Like we just walked into like an accidental festival that was like a huge thing. Awesome time, man.
They are better at deep snow than we are.
Oh yeah.
Right. They're better at super cold than we are. And the fact that guys are like literally ice skating to work on the river.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, they're joking about that. That's not really happening. And we're like, well, they really are.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
Well, it's
happening.
basically it is a sidewalk for 6 months or whatever, 4 months or whatever.
Yeah. It was pretty amazing. We had a very, very good time. It was pretty rad. And we went and got blasted at the Fairmount Queen Elizabeth and like did all the stuff you have to do, right? Like the cool stuff. It was a great trip. And so that's what I was joking with him because Montreal right now is 14 degrees.
Ooh.
Right? Vancouver's 45.
Right.
They're both in Canada.
Well, they don't stop their videos.
No,
my videos are done. I'm back in, I'm inside now talking because there ain't no riding outside.
There ain't no riding. This is it, man. If we're gonna pump out a video every 2 weeks, you got to do them when it's cold too.
Oh,
yeah.
Debuting tomorrow, you guys will enjoy this. I lost this card and I lost it. And it's been gone for 6 months and I couldn't, or 5 months. I did a video of our podcast at the museum.
Oh, you did?
And I forgot that I did a behind the scenes the whole video. So I put it together and it's coming out tomorrow. And it shows kind of like everybody's setting up. It shows the bikes. It kind of just gives a little snippet, which I linked to the podcast. So if you missed it, you can watch it. and then it ends. But like I was going through cards and I'm like, before I delete them, I always check. And I put, I'm like, what footage is this? I'm like, oh, fuck, that's the stuff I've been missing for 4 months. So,
that's great.
So that comes out tomorrow.
Oh, I'm very excited about that.
Well, that was the 37-person round table.
It was.
Podcast.
Oh yeah, we had. That's the thing. Yeah, a lot of people showed
It's
up.
the magic of so many, and that's the trick.
Sean has a guest appearance with his little buddy on.
Oh, he does.
Oh yeah,
with the bird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got Sean and Predator.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. That's one of the funny things about this particular podcast is because we do run a whole lot of people. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I participate in a lot of podcasts. None of them run 8 people. You know, it just seems like madness. And it's so much fun.
You need people who know how to be quiet.
All right, the greatest comment I have ever seen.
Greatest comment ever.
Uh-oh.
The greatest compliment this interview can receive is that John didn't fall asleep. Oh my God!
I'm struggling, but I'm hanging in there, man.
That's funny. So that's the stimulant for Meckel Fresh as a Canadian fella.
Someone's got to type.
Yeah.
Finally, we understand.
Right. Yeah.
It's the tuxedo.
Sean's like, I agree.
It is a very fun thing to have somebody that you're like, oh, we go to events and somebody will walk up at the event and they'll be like, Jesus Christ. And we're at AIM Expo in Vegas and somebody walks up and goes, oh shit, are you guys ClevelandMoto? And we weren't exactly like, we didn't have a tattoo on our face. We weren't wearing our like branded apparel. And we're like, yeah, we're ClevelandMoto. Holy shit. I've been listening to you guys for 15 years or whatever. And you have that moment. And then when we have this moment, so I've been watching Ryan do the Fort9 videos for a very, very long time. And for me, that's absolutely I'm going to fanboy out on that a little bit.
Well, I'm the nerd for the cinematography and stuff, and that's what I want to be doing. Right. I just don't have the time. Right. So when I can transition into it, like that's why I'm like, I really appreciate what that dude does.
It's
man.
very cool. And it also doesn't hurt that he's a nice person.
Yeah.
Who
he explains things very well. Like you talked about like the visuals he gives. And the stuff is relevant. Like he's got a video about a F650 Dakar BMW. He called it the greatest BMW GS you never heard of. I just watched it this afternoon. Yep. I owned one of those bikes.
Great video.
He did one about TW200s across that desert that he just spoke of, which he said is the only desert in Canada.
Yep.
He did one about Janice after Doodle's incident. He did one about Aerostitch suits why people wear Aerostitch suits, which I was trying to work it in when he was talking about what he wore on his thing. I was so surprised he said he just wore like regular street clothes.
Well, actually, the funny thing is the Alaskan trip where he's talking about wearing the
banana suit.
The banana suit.
Yeah.
My favorite suit of all time, I bought. It was an offshore oil driller suit. It's big, giant, red Santa Claus fucking suit. But it's waterproof. It's fucking warm as hell. Yeah. I did when everybody was doing the long distance rides in the winter.
Yeah.
Freeze your balls off challenge.
Yeah.
I did it in that.
Absolutely.
And like, because it was New Orleans at 35 degrees.
That's very much what he was talking about wearing because that's what he's wearing in the F650 Dakar video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And all that stuff it's designed like gear for miners.
Oh yeah.
Gear for miners is amazing.
Oil rig drillers, man. It's all waterproof, watertight,
all gonna be good gear.
And warm as hell.
Yep. And the funny thing is, it doesn't have the cachet of being motorcycle gear, so it's not going to cost $1,500.
And you can buy it used.
Oh,
because as soon as you come off the rig and you're no longer using it, they sell them cheap.
Dude, to this day, I know it's made by Nelson Rig, but to this day, the fucking $25 rain suit I bought at your shop, that thing's better than
I've got one of those too.
Yeah.
I don't know how Nelson Rig missed the boat on that. They could have charged $100 for that rain suit because all their competitors do.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson puts their label on that same exact rain suit and charges $100 for it. Right.
I mean, listeners, if you don't have a Nelson Rig rain suit, call Phil and get one.
20 years old.
Yeah.
And it goes with me everywhere. It goes on every adventure, but I have busted that thing out. And I'm like, well, here we go. This is the time it falls apart.
And
it doesn't fall apart.
And here's the thing. So it's waterproof, right? But more importantly,
it keeps you warm.
Yeah. If you throw it in your box and you're on a day where you're like, okay, it's enough for right now, but if I don't get home in time, I'm going to be cold.
Yep.
You throw that thing on, you can go 20 degrees down. That day that I rode to put my butt on Sean's scooter and visit you,
Yep.
literally, I put that on the way home because it was 34 degrees, man. Yeah.
I do my favorite riding, the Burr months, September, October, November.
Yeah.
I love riding at that time of the year because I can put on all my shit.
Yeah.
And one of my go-to is fleece lined or flannel lined pants, like fleece lined, flannel lined jeans. I love it. But sometimes the wind is your enemy, right? And I just grab that stupid 20-some-year-old Nelson rig, throw it on, and I'm like, boom, instantly warm.
And it's so much better. Like you'd think, like
it weighs nothing.
Well, and the thing is like frog togs. Like those things, they like if you rub on them and something like that, they get holes in them. If you get near a fire, like I experienced, they they disappear really quickly.
But frog togs, legitimately, as soon as they're like flash paper,
dude.
If you get anywhere near a hot exhaust, they just
or a fire. Gone. I actually got near the fire.
I think the safety feature of frog togs is they won't melt to you.
Yeah,
they just burn away from you.
Yeah. But those things, man, the same thing. I've had them. I don't know when I bought them probably from you for 8 years ago, and
a long time ago.
Yeah, and they've been on every bike. They've lasted longer than any motorcycle.
Oh, for real, mine too. Yeah, mine are the same way. And it was funny because I was on an adventure. I was in California doing riding. And I realized that in my go bag on the airplane, I didn't have that rain suit with me. So I was like, okay, well, priority one, when I get off the airplane, I get the bike, I'm going to go find a motorcycle shop and I'm going to buy a rain suit, or maybe I'll find a Kmart and buy a rain suit at Walmart. Do not do that. Walmart rain suits are bullshit. Kmart rain suits are bullshit. Unless it's the big, heavy red, the yellow fisherman's friend one, right? Those are pretty legit. But I went into a motorcycle shop and I grabbed the thing off the wall and I went up and I got like the orange and black version that time. And I got the orange and black version, walked up to the counter, and it was $71. And I looked at it, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, these are supposed to be $49.
Yeah.
Right? And they were like, no, they're $71. I said, no, they're supposed to be $49. I've been buying these for 25 fucking years. This is a $49 item. It used to be a $20 item. Now it's a $49 item. And he looked at me and he goes, well, in California, it's a $70 item. And I was like, okay, you got me on that one. Yeah.
Well, you're paying the sunshine tax.
Paying the sunshine tax.
Yep.
So I was okay with it. And I did ride that jacket and that pants combination because I had no idea how cold it was anything north of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just did not conceptualize how chilly it was going to be when you're in the marine layer and it's like, November, December.
Oh, dude, the first time when I worked for the remote control stuff, and they sent me to Tucson, Arizona for the aerobatic shootout that takes place in the Saguaro Desert.
Yeah.
I'm like, desert. Yeah. Shorts, t-shirts, I'm fucking set.
No.
So I got there, it was 95 degrees. Sure. Like I dressed appropriately.
Yeah, we did.
Hey, where are we staying tonight? Oh, Cinch, you're going to be in the trailer over at those guys. We'll have dinner at 6 or something. So just mill around. Okay.
Yeah.
So, planes come down and stuff, and the sun's going down at about 4:30. I'm like, ooh, the breeze is a little nipply. About 5:30, it was 32 degrees. I'm sitting there in a fucking pair of shorts with like a blanket. Oh my God. Nobody told me that shit happens.
No idea. Yep. Yeah. The Motorcycles and Misfits are going to do a desert ride. They call it their hair scramble, but it's a desert ride. Naked Jim's running it. And it's going to be like third weekend in January.
Yeah. January.
Yeah. And so I was like, ooh, that's something I could get into. But my thing is California high desert in January it could be super chilly. It could be super cold.
It will probably snow.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly.
You got a dirt bike though, so who cares? I mean, dress warm.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's not going to be a tropical ride.
Yeah, they're calling it the third annual Misfits Desert Hair Motorcycle Gathering, January 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Johnson Valley, California. So, I think that's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
I love everything about that.
That's the one thing I am super jealous of the Misfits is they have all that riding out there that they can do all year.
Yes.
Like we get stuck in this fucking I guess it's time to talk about motorcycles or work on them or something.
Right. Exactly. Right. And that's why I'm like looking at this. I was like, oh man, that might be the kind of thing I might want to participate in. Go out there, rent a motorcycle from somebody, and then because they're going to go to the King of the Hammers.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to go. That's going to be part of one of their away missions. Will be going out to that.
That's cool. I think Summit goes out to that occasionally. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's one of those places where I think the closest airport might be LAX, man. Yeah, it might be.
Well, that's always the thing is you fly into LAX and then you take like a 7-person bus that flies in the air to the airport you need to be.
Right. An airborne bus to get that way.
Oh God, I flew into LAX to Anaheim one day, and it literally was a 20-person freaking private there were more people. I could fit more people in my basement.
Yeah, I mean that's really
that's probably what you're looking at there.
When you look at that, yeah, it's probably get into like John Wayne Airport is still pretty far, or is that whatever that one is that's out by
John Wayne's Orange County,
right?
That's it,
yeah, that's John Wayne, but that's still not that much closer. So yeah, I do not know what would be the power move if you wanted to join those guys in Johnson Valley, because that's a hike, man.
Fly into LAX and buy something with a headlight.
Right. Yeah, that's right what it is.
Blast it and then just abandon it wherever you want to.
Yeah, Johnson Valley, California is not close
This
to
sounds like a Tao rally.
Santa Cruz. Yeah.
We go out, buy Tao-Taos and rock it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that thing. So it said King of the Motos is happening the same weekend, a few miles across the desert from our campsite. Pretty fucking cool. So that'd be a fun January adventure.
Right. Well, we're already doing a January adventure. We're going to be out at the AIM show in 2.5 weeks.
I know it's no
it's
time
fucking
at all.
coming up.
It's
3
coming
weeks,
quick,
basically.
right?
Yeah.
And Big Ben 8825 is looking for you there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be coming. Dr. Waters and I take a big Christmas trip every year. So this year we're going to Rome. And it's funny because we're coming back from Rome, and like just a couple of days after we land, we're back on the plane going out to Amex.
I got to say, I'm envious of you because you're going to Rome in Italy, and I'm apparently going to Dallas. Womp womp.
I'm going to be at my house.
I felt so bad when you were suffering at Oktoberfest.
I'll be home all.
Well, that was 2 weeks after the Napa trip, and a week.
You poor bastard.
And a week before the New Orleans trip. What was that? You told me one day I travel more than anybody you've ever met.
Honestly, he travels more than a fucking insurance salesman.
I was supposed
it's crazy.
Well, the funny part is Craft Services was supposed to go was told she should go to India the day after Thanksgiving, and she's like, "Are you fucking stupid?"
Yeah, and
like
I was like, day on the plane,
and I was like, "Okay, let's go."
Oh my god! Oh, that's wild. Yeah, so it's just getting ready for AIM Expo and doing all that. And now that we're going to stay the long weekend, we're going to stay for the Supercross.
Did you sign something up?
I sent you a thing. So I signed you up for a thing.
Yeah,
Okay, it's the media credentials.
Right.
I did it.
Okay.
I got the take a long walk off the short pier, pal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I can bring cameras in. That's all right.
Fill out the media credentials.
Okay.
If they're anything like me, I got slam dunked. They told me that my dick is not big enough to get a media credential for the Anaheim Stadium.
Really?
Yeah, there's stuff.
Okay. So I'll try.
Unlike everything else we've done, there are standards.
I might have to pull my professional card
That's
out.
what you might have to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I did the legwork for you. I got you right up to the point where all the lies you tell from here on out, those are your lies. I tried my lies. They didn't work, right? You're going to have better lies than I'm going to have.
We'll see.
That's going to save you $80.
We'll see.
Right?
I might have to pull a contact kind of thing and call somebody. Yeah.
It might be.
As long as it gets him the footage where the motorcycle lands on him. That's the only thing we're looking for.
It's a different thing. It's, going to AMA Vintage Days is a lot of square footage, a lot of square acreage, a lot of assholes, right? And you can give away media credentials to all your friends, and it's not a big deal. Nobody notices. But the Anaheim Stadium is every square inch there is bought and paid for.
Oh, yeah.
And so if every square inch of that stadium is bought and paid for, they're not giving it away for free if they don't have to.
Yep.
And that's in the backyard of the headquarters of motocross in the United States.
Exactly.
And that's their opening event, too.
Bingo.
Which is like the reverse Super Bowl. I mean, it's like the season opener, I guess you call it.
Yeah. It is not an easy media cred to get.
No, but at the end of the day, I just want to see the fucking race.
I'm just going to buy a ticket.
Yeah, right. That's what we're
I'm
doing.
going to buy a ticket.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my plan of attack.
Yeah.
Right.
There's going to be all kinds of fun stuff. Like me and Dan were talking. There's really sick car museums right around there. There's motorcycle
There's
stuff.
this little place that's about, I don't know, maybe 600 feet from our hotel, 700 feet from our hotel called Walt Disney.
Yeah, Disneyland.
So there's this whole place that for like $200, you go in there and it's the happiest place on earth. And you go in there, and it's just the whole thing. The problem is the park hopper. Like if you want to do California's Grand Adventure and Disney the same day, you got to buy a special ticket so you can go back and forth between the two.
Is the Tiki Landia day going to be with the
fuck yeah, the Tiki? Look, the good news is we can go to Trader Sam's without paying a penny at the park. So the Trader Sam's is access through the parking lot. We could walk into that. That's no problem. We're doing that.
That was the hysterical thing when we were there last year.
That's my second favorite tiki bar on the planet.
We wandered into Tiki Day. And I was like, what the shit?
Literally Tiki Day. Right. Yeah. The Tiki Club Day at Trader Sam's. Not a bad time to be there. Well, I tell you guys, I was very thrilled Sleepy, that you put this all together and did all the hard work. Anybody who's listening, don't take it for granted that this was just like perfectly smooth.
Oh no, he only had 3 or 4 freakouts.
Right. Yeah. Well, and this is a lot of things. And even when we talked to Ryan and we're like, look, this is going out. This is.
Yeah, he didn't get it at first.
This is going to be audio here. This is going to be this there. And
it's recording. Also, it's going out live.
Right, there's 3 cameras happening right now.
The amount of shit to figure out. I do this for a living. Yeah. And this was like.
And this is a big
no, so here's the thing. Yeah. It's not hard if you have a black magic box that I can put the software on it and it does most of the things that I had to do without that. So this was kind of like, this is like 2 tin cans with the string pulled between it.
Well, what's funny too is like, no joke. A week ago, you're like, hey, Phil, remember that box I gave you so that we could do Zooms during COVID?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Merritt, remember that box that you gave me?
Well, no, because here's the problem. Because the way we do it, I needed him to be in the board. Oh, yeah. Right? So I had to split everything out of the computer. But then I was like, okay, splitting out the computer is not a big deal. But then how do you get all the shit back to him so he's part of the conversation?
Human centipedes are less complicated.
Right. And not delayed. Right. Because nothing, you're going to get a bit of lag.
You can't have latency.
But you can't have a fucking circular thing where you're and so blah, 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 blah. And then there's it's like the dudes on the news when their earpiece ain't working.
This can't go out to YouTube and then come back.
Right. So it was interesting.
It was really fucking interesting.
There was a Sunday night, a Tuesday night, and about 14 trips to Best Buy involved.
Yeah. Well,
because they were the only place open.
But being able now to just be able okay, now whoever you are, wherever you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, the guest selection is going to
get a lot better, and we'll be able to give it to you live on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Which was the problem before was, we can have it, we can make it work, but you're not going to be able to watch it in real time.
Yeah, because they're not part of the podcast.
Exactly.
Before, we were all part of Zoom, and nobody wants to watch 8 guys in Zoom audio talking Zoom.
No, that's not the experience anybody wants to have.
And so we had to bring Zoom into our ecosphere. Then also take our ecosphere and put it back into Zoom.
Exactly.
And that was kind of fucking hard.
By the way, that's also terrifying. If you want to know where shit can fall apart.
Oh, I can tell you Zoom, piece by piece what could go wrong. Yeah. Oh man! I do have to get a better splitter thing because that is literally duct taped together so it doesn't fall off.
I am horrified that this is all just going to burst into flames one night while I'm asleep. I'm looking at this entire setup and I'm like, God damn! I was worried about the knob and tube. Now I'm worried about that.
You know what the best part? The best part, if you guys don't know, there's about 2,964 cables here.
Oh yeah.
And when I finally had the thing set up originally, I was hearing
just a 60
and I'm
hertz.
Okay, what fucking cable is this?
which loud cable is sitting next to what transformer?
I think Tom heard some new words he hasn't heard in a long time.
I think we're going to have to work out something special where instead of going into work and working on your stuff, I'm just going to come home and renovate. And those are going to be my hours.
It's fucking. I'm going to tell you the different levels. We started this with a literal R2 unit. We started this with a remote 2 microphone MP3 recorder. That's how we started the whole podcast. Because when we were in Dustin's basement with an entire sound studio, we couldn't smoke cigarettes. So we wanted to smoke cigarettes and drink beer, and we couldn't do either of those things in the sound studio. So because we wanted to smoke cigarettes and drink beer, we went back out to an ice cold garage with a literally pocket recorder.
But if you didn't do that, the podcast wouldn't have its soul.
Right.
Because otherwise it would have just been a podcast.
Exactly.
And so we've taken the garage and brought it to a studio, but I don't think it's lost the garage aesthetic.
Correct. I totally agree.
Right?
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And it was funny for all the years that we just did it at the shop. It was great at the shop because the funny thing was all the customers would come into the shop.
Yeah, what is that?
And they'd see this table, this rig that looked like an octopus landed.
Well, I always wondered if they thought we were a cult because like it would be like 6 o'clock and you'd be trying to get them out, and then all your loyal people came in to carry a table with weird shit on it.
Oh my God!
Like, what are these fucking guys doing over here?
It didn't help you yelling "gabba gabba hey" every time you moved.
But here's the thing. You know what? We do have to at some point get the thing and go do, not now obviously, but like when your street has the thing, because some of my favorite fucking ones was when a random dude on a bicycle just killed himself in front of us. Or
with our go to war bag now.
Yeah.
So now that we have the go to war bag. The go to war bag actually makes it pretty easy to do them live from the shop again with 2 cameras.
Yeah, and we can still go live and everything.
It's still easy.
It is. We can do that in the summer.
It's
definitely.
It's still pretty easy. Because Crawford showed us that on one extension cord, we can still do all the stuff.
But we need, I got to figure out headphone amps because that was a fucking nightmare for me. I was running shit. Today I was riding. Dude, it was funny. John was laughing at me. I got a hand cramp. Because Ryan's mic was coming so hot in and out. I was riding it the whole time, and I was doing this, and all of a sudden it went, and I'm like, "Fuck!"
I think the Zoom call is adding, and it's spicing it up.
Yeah.
So I think the Zoom call is constantly gating it.
Oh, totally.
And you could tell it was just like, he was really,
he was going and like
he was bouncing around a lot.
It was fun though. I was like, yeah, let's go, dude. Until my finger said no.
It was. I'm glad it went off as well as it did, and he's a perfect test subject for it because we got a nice long conversation out of him. And
I don't think so. That was interesting because he was like, he's like, I've been doing about 45 minutes to an hour. He hung in there, man. That was cool.
He's doing great.
Well, that's you're absolutely right, Sleepy. Now that you have the everything set up and everything sort of sorted out,
right?
This opens up for everything. Yeah. Everybody, anybody that wants to come on.
Oh yeah, now we can have an Oscar once in a while. We can have a Nick once in a while.
Oscar in whenever we want is a really, really big deal. Being able to get Nick in here whenever we want is a really, really big deal.
At this point, we can run contests. And over the course of the time, we can have a listener join the podcast on the podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
And that really is.
That isn't here. I mean, because obviously, if you're in the area, you're welcome to come down. But
for a lot of the people that we work with and a lot of the people we deal with, we would love to have some of our friends be able to just be like, "Hey, what are you doing this afternoon? Sit in with us."
Now, Liza can come in on with a top 10.
I have a question. I have a question out here though for our listeners. If anybody knows this, I know some guys that might be in IT or something might know this. If there's a better service, like I know there's a couple like Bluebird or something else like that, that's a river song maybe, or if somebody wants to let me know on a better service that they could call in on to get better audio.
Okay,
Zoom's audio sucks balls.
Well,
and
it was a little weird. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and it's not the user's fault. No. It's just Zoom's fault.
It's just Zoom.
But I know that there's other places that like they have these things set up for podcasts. I'll Google it, but I just wonder if anybody knows like a good solid one that's reliable, etc. Throw me a message or something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. Well, anybody else got anything else?
Merry Christmas.
Oh wait, Speedy Pete did Christmas because we're gonna do gift exchange next week too. So the big white elephant is next week.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the giant.
Did Pete bring us steaks? Oh my God!
Oh God! Steaks!
Goodness gracious!
Look, I got the other camera, Pete. You can show it up all over.
The overhead view. Oh, the blimp cam.
There's a bit of bit of a red herring.
Okay, it's a bit of a red herring.
Lobsters.
Let's see.
Just Langostinos.
Let's see who's this for.
Is this the plutonium?
Oh, that's Phil.
Oh,
Unky Phil.
All right. There's a Phil.
All right.
Oh, ooh. That's Sean.
Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Well, is the podcast over with, or
yeah, Mac, you won the award, Mac.
Longest time.
So this one I think stands.
I was not prepared for this.
I wasn't either. I was very.
Steve.
It's
That's
the thing is we're narrowing in on the holiday.
I'm waiting until they get passed out before I rip into mine.
That was John's.
Okay.
All right.
Whoever gets in there first is going to run the surprise for everyone else.
Okay. All right.
I'll cut back and forth. Oh, I'm going slow.
I see 150.
Oh,
Thank you.
it's a penis.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
I had no idea we were getting butt cameras.
My wife's gonna steal this.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome, Pete.
that is great.
Yeah.
Hold on, got the old
Here, Sean, why don't you show people what you
Yeah,
have?
show-
Wait, hold on.
Actually,
I'll get you here.
this will come in handy. I needed this earlier today.
You know what? I bought one for myself, and I went back and got 6 more because I
It
said,
curves.
Oh yeah.
It curves to get into the hard to reach places.
Sean,
and
can
it's
you
got
model it for us?
interchangeable
Can you
heads.
take it out of the box
It's
and
gotta be,
model
yeah.
it?
You know,
there's a spotlight and a like a rotating.
laugh about this. I needed this earlier today. I was
Are
working
these
on it.
are these waterproof and body proof?
They have been thus far.
I was working on a GB500 and needed this earlier today so I could putting the airbox back together.
Ooh, look! It even has different color temperatures.
Oh, kinky.
Ooh, wow! For your pleasure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I like this.
light.
This is very cool.
Sean, this does not mean you've been collared.
I'm a big fan.
Oh my god, dude, you can see what you're doing now.
Yeah, that's it. When in doubt, send a scout. Excuse me while I whip this out.
That was a delayed. He was like,
You'd be like, I didn't think there was going to be a test.
Yeah. Oh shit! Thank you,
these
Pete.
are great, Pete.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I love it. These are great. These are cool.
You know, when I'm working on something, I'm constantly like adjusting the light or trying to like get my head out of the way of the shadow or whatever. And this thing solves a lot of
I
problems.
got the guys at Motorsport Scooters San Diego. I was out there working on bikes, and Bailey came out, and he saw that I was wearing a headlight to work on motorcycle and scooters and stuff. And he's like, "Did you bring your own headlight?" I'm like, "I don't go anywhere without a headlight." And because I'm getting old, my eyes are getting a little worse, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you've had an impact, like that life affirming moment is when Bailey came to visit and he had a headlight. And he's like, "Phil, I learned this from you, man. Changes your world. You can see everything." And I'm like, yeah, it really does.
It's amazing when you have to work under a car or something like that. That thing will change your life.
The
And this is a good
hysterical
one.
thing.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Yeah.
The hysterical thing is when Phil pulls out his watch light.
Yes.
That is impressive.
I paid money to get a watch that has a flashlight built into it.
No joke.
And I use this damn thing constantly for a Bluetooth watch.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only Bluetooth watch I ever found that had a spotlight on it.
Unbeknownst to you, I used to call you Maxwell Smart at the shop because you'd be talking to your phone and doing shit with your phone and all that stuff.
Hey, that is, I 100%. That's when I felt like I became an adult.
Yeah.
Is when I had enough flashlights. When I wasn't like, I need a flashlight.
There's no such thing.
So to your credit, since you've never had any kids, I mean, you've had nephews and everything else, you never had anybody hold the flashlight for you and smack in the back of the head.
Well, but like my dad would tell you too, that I never had anybody steal the flashlights from me and not put them back where they're supposed to be. So like in my world, you go to my house, there's cheaters, there's 1.25, 1.5 readers everywhere, just all over the place. There's also flashlights everywhere, right? And because I don't have kids, they stay where you put them most of the time. Right. Yeah.
That doesn't happen at my house.
Yeah, I have 100 flashlights and they're usually right where I leave them.
Yeah, that's nice. I remember that's my wife was like, "What do you miss from like not being married?" I'm like, coming back to the house looking exactly like it was when I left it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right.
Because like that is weird when you live with people.
Not having 37 chickens fly through my kitchen.
Well, I mean, it would be for me. I have become kind of as I get a little older. I definitely am the kind of person where like I put something where I put it, I expect it to be there, right? And because I'm not constantly dealing with 5 smaller versions of me that are stealing things. And
You mean Merritt doesn't hide your shit?
Merritt tidies my shit.
You know what's happening to Phil? Phil's like, that kid's not supposed to be on my lawn. Hey, you.
The weird part, Phil, is like I'm the exact opposite where I can just throw shit anywhere.
Yeah,
the reality is it's on the floor where I remember where it was.
Yeah,
I'm the guy that can find the paperclip under the desk.
He called you Dick Tracy.
Yeah, Trick Daisy. Yeah, that's. But I'll show you a trick. It is that thing though where I also have when that 10 millimeters not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Then I will shut the operation down. I'm like, nobody picks up the phone. The door stays locked. we must find the 10 millimeter deep well.
Oh, I'm the same way.
Yep. And I'm like, and Renee's like, okay, all right.
And
great.
the weird part is, if I saw it a month ago, I can tell you exactly where.
Oh
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. That's the trick. Like that's the whole thing. And I'm just like,
it's over there under the thing.
Oh well, you were over there. You were doing an impromptu service on that bike over there. You were tightening up that windshield. You're doing that while that customer was talking to you, and then the phone rang and everything. So I believe it's going to be over in that area. And we will spend a whole lot of manpower looking in that area, forgetting that one other thing happened after that.
But
and you're like, Nick, I remember I had to go out in the truck and move it or something. And then you're like, that's where the wrench is.
When new Nick would come back in the back of the shop. Oh yeah. He'd be like, I need a hammer. I'm like, it's over there under the GTS seat, right beside the oil filters.
That is mechanic spectrum Rainmanosis. Yeah. Every mechanic I've ever met in my life, has mechanic spectrum Rainmanosis, which means the place is fucking clearly exploded. Clearly something like a helicopter's just landed here or something, or a big magnet went through the room, because nothing's where it's supposed to be. Somebody turned on an MRI, but the shit is everywhere. Oh yeah. Right. But when the mechanic comes in, you're like, okay, hey, I need this 12 millimeter clawfoot. Yeah, it's right over there. Go lift up that second transmission, get under there, lift up the pad under the oil pan.
And I have made every effort trying to make everything organized in the back, and it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Well, no, in my world, it's like, fuck it.
To everyone except you. Right. Yeah, right. The difference between ADHD spectrum Rainmanosis and the rest of the planet is whether you're working alone or other people are around you. Because if there are other people around you, they will kill you.
Yeah. Or sometimes you need people to shadow you to get stuff done too. Right. It's really weird. Like you'll be like almost in like a thought comatose until somebody's standing there and it breaks you out of it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've done so many things where I'm like, I just need to put that part on that motorcycle. And then I realized like, no, these 3 tools need to be repaired before I can do that job. And I'm like, look at me. I've repaired 3 tools. That's great. I just saved all this money repairing these 3 tools. Shit, what was I? Yeah.
Well, I get me 3 projects just to get the cars moved in and out of the garage. I go to start Piper's car, it won't open. I'm like, I gotta go.
I gotta put new batteries in the remote.
I have to go through all the batteries. I finally found a battery. Now I finally put it in the remote. Now I can finally start that car.
Dude,
that car. Like.
I go through so much
go
shit.
to get the Corvette. It's dead.
I have to build 3 tools before I can get this project done.
Dude, I go through a mental thing. So like the other day I realized that I'm sitting there and it's getting cold, obviously in the house, but outside it was getting really cold. And then they were like, oh, it's going down to 18 or something. Right. And so I'm like, okay, my bikes are cool. I'm like, oh, wait. I'm like, I have water in the race bike. Oh, I have water in the race bike.
I literally have water in my motorcycle.
I'm like, I need to get that out of the bike.
Yeah, because otherwise it'll explode my motor.
So in my head, I'm like, well, I know I put that, and even though I did everything precisely the way it's supposed to be done, in my head, I'm like, well, I know I fucked the fairings up, so it's going to take forever. And I'm building this whole fucking project up in my head. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go home. And I put all the gear on and I'm mentally set to do it. And it took like 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything came apart because I put it together properly.
Because you did it right.
But my brain is like, oh, you definitely fucked that up. And so like I had to build myself up to go do this 5-minute fucking job. And it was like,
the time saver of my life has been for the past 20 years. I literally stopped. Where would the smarter version of me have put that?
That's a good point.
And if you say, where would the smarter version of me put that? What you're doing is you're saying, remove the panic of the current situation. Don't see it anymore. Where would the smarter version of me had put that? And then you go to that spot and you're like, fuck, there it is. Look at that.
I use the phrase, like when I'm doing it, work, garage, whatever. I always say Sean of the past knew what Sean of the future wanted. That's the winning. I use it at work all the time. You can ask any of my coworkers. I'm like, Sean of the past knew what Sean of the future needed.
Right. The thing I saw today is if someone with ADHD ever says, I'm going to put this somewhere safe, fucking stop them.
Stop them.
Can you get Sean of the future to tell Sean of the past some lottery numbers? Or
I had a moment of personal growth after I finished my work. I actually put everything away.
Yeah.
I wiped off my tools and hung them up.
Oh, God, who are you?
You know what? The greatest thing in the world is a tool board.
Yeah.
And blow molded plastic cases for your sockets and stuff, because you can tell immediately what's missing.
And nothing screams failure.
Yeah.
Like an empty slot.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
it's like a missing tooth.
I'll throw the whole set away and get a new one if one's missing. I will. If I can't buy a replacement.
Now that they sell 10 millimeters on a stick, So like you can buy one stick that has 10 different kinds of 10 millimeters. So it's a 3/8, a quarter drive, a floppy wiggle wobble. And it's like they're all on one stick. And you're like, hey, it's $22. And I got a whole collection of all the 10 millimeters.
And you figure like lose one every 2 months. That's at least 2 years of 10 millimeters.
Well, that was always the thing is, you remember the parts bins you bought with the racks, the big blue bins? Yeah. So in the shop in New Orleans, what Dave decided was that we had bought so many miscellaneous sets.
Yeah.
We set those up with not 8mm, 9mm, 10mm. Right. So every bin had that in it. So it didn't matter if it was a box wrench or a socket.
In that bin was every way an 8mm can exist.
And it worked. With the way my head worked at the time, because my head doesn't work the same way anymore, which is a lot of therapy.
So Redonk says the coolest flashlight his kids was the L-shaped olive green military flashlight called the gooseneck flashlight, especially with a red lens. So you take off, unscrew the ass cap, and you'd unscrew the ass cap, and there'd be a diffusing lens, a white lens, a red lens, and if you found a really sexy one, you might find a purple or blue lens in there too. And we would harvest those. Like we'd take them apart in the Army and find the better, like the different colored lenses.
Make glasses?
Well, because those were the ever ready ones with like the D-cell batteries and stuff.
Yeah, 2 D-cell batteries.
Peggy has her father's.
Yeah, they're just they were ubiquitous. The funny thing though is if you've ever had to live with that fucking thing,
those cheap ass Rambo knives.
Well,
the serrated edge.
With the compass in the back that would always break as soon as you touch something.
Anybody who was forced to use a gooseneck flashlight will also tell you it's not the best tool for you. It's very rarely is it what you want it to be. Yeah.
I want to use it for going down a rat hole in Vietnam.
They're just, as flashlights go,
that's part of the
German
tour,
Army
John.
carries a little square one. The Swiss Army, German Army carries a little square flashlight that has sliders on it. And so the sliders go up and become your different filters for the lenses. So you don't have to take it apart and rebuild it with the different lenses on it. And the first time somebody handed me a German Army flashlight, and I looked at that beautiful thing and I was like, oh, that's genius. It does the same thing. It hangs on your load-bearing equipment, it hangs on your LBE, it projects light forwards. But it can change the filter simply by sliding a little slider up. And you don't have to take the thing apart and lose all the parts in the dark when you're supposed to be being dark for light discipline, and somebody's over there dicking around with some stupid flashlight.
That brings up a question in my head.
Yeah.
What's German for efficiency?
Efficiency. Ordinal.
I'm going to say the greatest flashlight is the 3D cell mag light.
Oh, you mean the thumper?
Yeah, exactly.
The thumper. Right. Yeah.
But those things were like lightsabers too. I mean, they just project. You can light up an airplane flying over at 30,000 feet.
I bought the LED kits for when they first did the quartz kits for the gooseneck, because the Army just says you have to be in uniform. They don't have to say what kind of bulb you need to have in your flashlight. So that, you're going to turn out with your gooseneck flashlight, but there's no reason that says you can't put a much better bulb in it. And so that was like my high-speed, low-drag move, was to get the little streamlight bulb for my gooseneck flashlight. So it'd be like, whoa, when you create heat for your little 2D size battery.
Light and cigarette.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And now they do the full streamlight. Like I had an SL20X when I was a police officer that actually has rechargeable smaller batteries in it, so you can pump the voltage way higher than the 6 volts that they originally were running at.
I have 2 huge streamlights in my car right now.
Yeah, the one that I have at the house is a 12 volt, and that is, when you turn that on, you feel things. Yeah, it creates a lot, but also it's not that big, and that heavy, and that long, because it makes the light brighter.
Yeah.
It's that big, heavy, and long in case you need to.
Well, there's a reason compliance.
Right? Exactly right. Yeah. I've got brighter flashlights that fit in my pocket.
Yeah.
But there's a reason they have a certain form factor to them, and it's not always great.
That was always the excuse. I'm like, I have bigger flashlights usually in my pocket. Don't judge me, right?
Don't judge me. I promise. Yeah.
We're at the FCC.
FCC's gave us a call.
Hey, Chris Smith, is there any boomer jokes about hating your wife?
Oh, no, wait, we got a Sean joke. Hold on.
No, I don't have a Sean.
You have a Sean?
Yeah, Sean, you're in the seat. Come on, Sean. Sean.
No, I don't think I have anything.
You have to have an joke. An
And joke.
Can
No, I don't have.
Oh, that's it. That's
Okay,
it.
well, I have one.
You
though.
got one? Give us
Well, not a joke,
Quick
but I have more of a comment. So me and
Oh,
Sean
shit.
went to a concert on Monday.
Yes, yes, we
Awesome
did.
concert. Excellent, was great. But
Thievery Corporation.
the kids have a style now that I can only call the Ned Flanders.
Oh.
This dude stood in front of us with a 90s dad haircut, a mustache that was perfectly groomed, but not like a cool wiggly one.
Okay.
Like a dad mustache. He had on like a Cosby sweater with tan pants and boat shoes, or no, New Balance shoes. But he was a dad, and then they just stood there.
Yes, and he was also unfun.
Oh, he was
Like-
totally unfun?
Like,
totally
yeah,
unfun.
like he was in character. Like, this is a thing. So, like, didn't I ask that girl?
I know I was unfun by not having a joke, but like that guy was unfun.
Yeah, and I asked the girl if it was like, are they doing that purposely? And she was like, "Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
that's a
Yeah,
thing."
That's a thing?
No, he was such a boner. The little finance nerd behind us was having a better time.
Yeah, of course.
Like, he was having a great time.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you guys a fast joke.
Okay,
You guys all remember, if you're old, you remember Liberace.
of course.
Dude, the guy
He's
was
from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. One of the greatest show pianists that ever existed, right?
With rings that I don't know how he moved his fingers.
But what most people don't know is he absolutely sucked on the organ. All right, folks, that's it. Ride fast and take chances. Play us out of here, Johnny. Eject, hit the red button, get us out of here.